And again, I thank you for all of you guys for the previous session. And first of all, we are connected with Dr. Shabir. And first things first, on behalf of the Center of Virtual Reality and Augmented Reality in Department of Multimedia under the School of Design, I'm going to take the liberty of all of us to say a huge thanks to Dr. Shabir for being here and spending his time with us amidst his busy schedule. I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to call a special person to actually do an introduction. And right before that, Professor Dineshkumar sir is here.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, so we are going to start off with an augmented reality app demonstration by one of our faculty, Professor Dineshkumar R. Right after his presentation, we are going to have a very nice welcome to our Shabir sir. Then we're going to get on with his amazing speech that we are waiting for from this morning. So over to you, Dinesh sir.
Hope you all see my screen, right? Yeah. So good morning. Sorry. Yeah. So good morning, all. In this session, we are going to discuss about a demonstration that VIT has done so far in our VIT's research lab facility. So we are in the process of making demonstrations with related to augmented reality. So augmented reality is a huge stuff here, where people are migrating slowly into this technology in order to explore many industries, such as from education to health and e-commerce kind of things. So here we will show you some of the demonstrations that we have done here. So the first thing I would like to show you is augmented reality. As many of you come with this term, it is all about it's expanding the physical world. It's all about you guys might be familiarized with virtual reality, which is taking the user into a 3D virtual environment is called a virtual reality. Whereas in the augmented reality, we call it as taking the 3D element into our world. That is what we call it as augmented reality. It is like adding a 3D element or any CG element into your real world. This is what augmented reality is all about. So in this session, we will be demonstrating mostly about some of the augmented reality apps we have done, and so that the users would also get to know about this augmented reality, what kind of benefits that it could give you when you implement it and where to implement it. So you can get the overall view and structure of how it might work in the field. So yeah, so there is some common classifications when it comes to augmented reality. We call this as projection-based augmented reality, recognition-based augmented reality, as well as location-based augmented reality. So these are the three main streams under which the augmented reality plays a vital role in all the industry, from healthcare to military. So you might be aware of this Pokemon Go. It is a familiar entertainment game where you have to chase the Pokemon, you have to chase around it. So this is what, like adding a 3D object or bringing a CG element into the real world. That's what augmented. So here we have we have done many of our works in interactive, non-interactive projection-based and image recognition and object recognition. So the basic setup is when we say it has augmented reality, the first thing that any consumer would do is they look into their mobile, because if we talk about technology and if we are denying mobile, that would be a big chaos. So in terms of augmented reality, it is widely used and accepted by many people in the world using their mobile phones. So we done many of our apps pertaining to the mobile phones here. So one such work that I'll show you here. So yeah, so right now you're looking into one of our research facilities, image-based tracking. So this is image-based tracking in augmented reality, where people will be looking the 3D element into the live world. So we call this as an image-based augmented reality because this 3D element has been erected from the image here. So this is what we call it as an image-based augmented reality. So when this image has been noted by your camera in the smartphone, then it would trigger to enable the 3D element here. So we have made this thing. It's image-based tracking. So we have made such apps for Android platform. So this is the app name, AR Human Atlas. And we have also done many such demonstrations in regarding with this image-based tracking facilities. And the coolest thing with image-based tracking is the object will stay long in the scene. And also the student could able to visualize the 3D object in lively. So, you know, that would add some fun into the classroom session. Like there'll be a 3D element standing next to the student, and they would feel much happy to have a 3D element next to them. And also it is not like a traditional book-based learning. So that's what add an extra element to this. Yeah, this is one of our augmented architecture visualization demo. So I'll play the video here. Hope you guys could see the video now. Yeah, here you would have noticed that this is an image-based tracking feature where you could able to go inside a house and you can explore what is inside the house also. So this plays really a good marketing tool, as well as good in the terms of retail and businesses, where people could use this technology to sell their product. And also in terms of exploring some complex machine structure and complex experimental learning could also be achieved by using this augmented reality. So there's a main advantage of using this image-based tracking. And this image-based tracking works only when that specific image is visible in the camera, unless it won't work. You might have noticed now that the image is not, the 3D model is not. Yeah, now the 3D model is visible or activated only when the specific image is visible to the camera. So this is what one of the image-based tracking that we have done in our research. And it also supports 360-degree visualization. So if there are many scenarios where the user cannot bring the live object, the real-time object into the classroom sections or any other industry sections. So there we can apply this. So the trainers or the professionals or the students, they could able to visualize what is the content in that. So this is one of our work we've done in the image-based tracking. And we have also done several gesture-based tracking. So when it comes to gesture-based tracking, like we have the next evolution of augmented reality, where instead of using your touch screen, or instead of using your joystick or keyboard or controls, just by using the gestures, we could able to use this augmented reality. So that is one of the feature that was available. So we have done a demo in this gesture-based augmented reality. There's a well-documented failure of gesture-based augmented reality is Google Lens. So Google Glass. Yeah. So that is one documented failure because it was too advanced for the users. But the product is good, and the features are also good, and slowly it will come to the market with a wide success. So this is a glimpse of our small gesture we have done with the use of augmented reality. So yeah, here you could notice that there are some virtual buttons here. So when the user presses the virtual buttons on the marker there, then the predefined 3D model would be loaded in that scenario or in the position where you wanted it to be. So these are certain virtual buttons that activated by the gestures that the user gives there. Yeah, so this is what your demo gesture-based one. So you could see there are some virtual buttons here. There are many virtual buttons here, which is been activated by using the gesture-based augmented reality. And these are, we are doing this as researchers for the past 4 to 5 years in our facilities. So let me take you to the next step of markerless augmented reality, where this is what do you call this, a top-notch technology as of now, because people don't like to stick to any of a marker-based one. So here you could see there is a marker-based augmented reality where in order to activate or bring the 3D element or the CG element into the scene, we need this marker. We need this key to activate or bring it. Whereas many of the people are not comfort in carry over this tracking or the marker into the places where you'd like to go. So instead of having those markers, there is a technology launch called Markerless Augmented Reality. You might have seen in many commercials that this has been launched, and it is now being widely used everywhere, where you don't need to carry any markers or any images or trackers. So this is a markerless augmented reality. So this is already in the market where people are using this, like in the IKEA furniture, and in many cases where you can bring the furniture directly into the live world without any markers or without any hassles. So this is also a selling point for many users, as well as for real estate and furniture kind of marketing activities. So there is some demo that we have done by using this markerless augmented reality, and this we mostly used in our regular classrooms to teach students related to anatomy for our animation and media students. So they could able to find out and learn how the human anatomy works when it comes to 3D model the characters. So this is really a good one for the students. And I also tell you that it opens a different avenue for many of the students and many of the industry experts to work with this markerless AR. So let me play you a demonstration of how our markerless augmented reality would be. Yeah, this is different anatomical structures and 3D models where the user can switch from one 3D model to another 3D model. So the user, it's all about, we have some muscular system and human skeletal system and nervous system. There are many such systems available there. And the idea of using this is we are in the process of making this research into a further step where all the 3D models of our students, all the 3D characters that they create for the game environment, as well as for the content creation, we are planning to build, we're planning to take everything into this Markerless demo. So it is like when you open an app, you could able to see all your company's products there. So you can virtually see the models there on your 3D environment or on your screen in the live environment. So such kind of thing we could do with the help of this markerless augmented reality. And it is also important to mention that not only in the terms of anatomy or human study or art-based study, we can also bring in machines and other robot electronic studies also into this. There is a demonstration we have done by using the surface-based markerless augmented reality, where we have given some machine explode view, so you could able to see what is inside the machine and how does the machine functions. Everything, all the things are there. So it is not only to just look into the models, you can also animate it. So I would say it is an added advantage rather than fitting with the traditional classroom-based learning where students learn everything through some animated videos or some textbooks. Here, everything is an animated, augmented reality experience that a student can achieve by looking into this surface-based markerless augmented reality. So here we have explored a machine where you can see how it would be. So in this surface-based markerless AR, you would have noticed that by initially the machine, your CPU or your processing inside your smartphone, it just works in a way that it tracks everything on the screen. That is why it's called as a surface-based markerless, where it tracks everything on the screen, and after tracking, it just positions the 3D model on the surface. So in order to make this surface-based markerless to work, we need a surface there, unless it won't work. So this is really a good one because you can make your 3D model or the CG element to appear anywhere, right from the flat surface of your home or to a table or anywhere, wherever it might be. Okay, so this is a really good one when it comes to surface-based model. And I would say, yeah, look at that. So if not this point, then the machine would fit to some other tracking point. Yeah. And the explode view, this is the explode view that I have been telling you. So with this explode view, you could able to see the animated version of what happened and how the machine functions inside. So this is a surface-based markerless augmented reality demo. Yeah, and so these are all some of the demos that we have been doing in our research facility, right from our image-based tracking, and where I have shown you some 360-degree visualization and gesture-based tracking, where I have shown you some of the virtual buttons using the gestures, and Markerless for teaching anatomy to the students, and an explode animated view of a machine or any 3D element you have. So this is a good selling point down here. And also we are into the future of augmented reality, where to bring in mixed reality things into it. And you might have experienced like Microsoft's future tools are there, and also Google and Apple are also into this AR, which is a big market there. So we are doing a research into futures things, because if you have seen here the proper video game industry, healthcare, engineering, and live events, then entertainment, these are the topmost priority for augmented reality. So these are the estimated amount of revenue which can be pulled in this industry in the future 2025. So by keeping this in mind, we are focusing on the multifaceted augmented reality applications. So when it comes to the future of augmented reality, we believe VIT, we are focusing, we would like to focus more into an head-mounted display, because smartphones are not, the display size is not enough. So we are focusing into head-mounted displays on bigger screens to make our next set of research into a proper one. So with this said, I would like to tell you that even though we have the augmented reality and virtual reality elements here, we should be also aware that this augmented reality technology should not limit the people from mingling with others. So that also has to be inculcated into the technology. So we are in the process of doing that. So a people's or a student or any single person's social interaction will not be stopped by using the technology. So we keep that as one of our fundamental features, so that humanity would be served properly. So with that, I would just conclude my session, and I would like to say thank to the International Virtual Conference on Immersive Education with VR AR, Department of Multimedia, and also for the colleagues and the faculties here who have really contributed on making this research products and apps we are doing right now. And hope we'll be discussing about many experts, talks, and sessions. Thank you, guys. Please stay tuned.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Dinesh, for your insights and the demonstration on the different types of augmented reality. Really appreciate that on behalf of the whole department and the participants. So now we do have Dr. Shabir sir waiting for his speech, which the same way that we've been waiting since morning. And he have actually joined us early. That actually shows how prompt he is. And we're going to be very, very thankful for that. And I'm going to inform the same that our Dean of VSign is joined with us as well, and our head of the Department of Multimedia, Dr. Lakshmi Priya ma'am. So I'm just formally inform you that Dr. Shabir sir have joined us. So I'm going to transfer my control to Professor Raja, and also on behalf of ICEVAR 2020. Thank you very much, Raja, for bringing in Shabir sir and the contact. It's been really, really great. So over to you, Raja sir.
Thank you, Surendheran sir. A very good morning to one and all, and I hope all of you are doing good and safe. I take immense pleasure in introducing Dr. Shabir Syed Abdul, who is from Taiwan. Basically, we are proud enough to say that he is from India, and I'll quickly introduce you his credentials. He is holding the position of Associate Professor in Graduate Institute of Biomedical Informatics, Taipei Medical University, Taiwan, and he is Artificial Intelligence and Digital Health Consultant, who is also acting as a Principal Investigator at International Center for Health Information Technology. And he holds several other positions as key person in various departments, and also editor in some of the major journals. And he is an educator for MOOCs on Future Learn, and his course includes Internet of Things for active aging, social media in healthcare, digital healthcare for cancer management, artificial intelligence for healthcare, active aging with virtual reality. and his major long-term research interests are into telemedicine, M-health, traditional medicine, virtual reality, big data analysis, and visualization. And to add to his credentials, I'm going to tell you something very interesting. Shabir sir, who is specialized in telemedicine, who is presently residing in Taiwan, was recognized by the Ministry of Taiwan, and they have awarded him Alien Permanent Residency Card, which is a big credential added to an Indian who has contributed to the country of Taiwan. And one more thing, he is the university's first full-time international staff. There is no other international staff who worked as full-time international faculty before Shabir sir. So he has a lot of credentials. If I start scrolling down the introduction page, I think I'll take about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. So without any delay, once again, I welcome you, sir, for this international conference on AR and VR organized by the Center for AR and VR, Department of Multimedia, Vellore. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just before I start, I want to make sure is my voice clear, because
Yes, it's
your
clear.
last voice was not so good. Then let me begin myself. Okay, you have talked so much about me, so I don't want to go into that. But once again, it's my pleasure, and really I feel so happy when I deliver talk to my Indian friends. This is totally different thing. Definitely, I talk in Europe, I talk in US, but I don't have that feeling the way I have in Indian audience, because I feel like this is my things or something like that. That is one. Next, once again, this is my second time talking in VIT, this conference, and it's my pleasure once again. And I thank you, our Dean Saleem Doctor sir, and Raja sir for inviting me, and all your staff for giving this brilliant opportunity to share my experience. What I can do is just share my experience. From there, we can see how we can progress. By the way, in last 2 years, you know, around 10 students from VIT have been in TMU, Taipei Medical University, as an exchange students, and they are doing wonderful job. Right now, I already have 4 students. Because of this lockdown, they are unable to go back, but we are trying to take care as much as possible. And always I am saying them, you are much safer here than going back in India. But that's fine. So let me come back to the original talk. But before I begin my talk, I want to recommend, I want to give few comments for our Dr. Dineshkumar. Fantastic presentation, sir. And just during your talk, I got like 3 wonderful ideas. Because if you see your chart, after gaming, healthcare is the second top in AR, VR, and it has to be. It has to be, and I think it will go even higher, just because simple reason, because healthcare is very complex, and nowadays it's becoming interdisciplinary. Number 1. Number 2, for practical reasons, definitely you might have gone to any hospital. It's not easy to find your person, like people who want you to visit. Definitely your AR, VR can help. Just you take mobile phone and you go and you can get to that ward. You can mix that type of application. Second is reading your lab values. Now, every day I get messages from my relatives and friends saying, sir, I got this report. I don't know what I should do. Then I need to read and I need to say. Then again, you can use this AR thing. By seeing these numbers, automatically it translates into some sort of diagnosis or some sort of suggestions. And third thing is like this thing, like seeing X-ray. You show X-ray to your phone, automatically can interpret what's happening, whether there is infection or not, whether there is problem or not, X, Y, Z. And the fourth thing is we have visualization. We talk a lot of data visualization. The problem of visualization is, again, showing, representing the data in meaningful and understandable format. But what AR does is even one step ahead than that. It just don't show in format in table 2 by 2, but it shows in 3D. It shows in reality. So that can really, really change the way we are practicing and we are interacting with the information. Thank you for that, sir. I will be more than happy to contribute in that and work on to that. So I think I am talking so much. I will go back to my talk and let me share my screen, please. Yeah. So can you see my screen, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So, okay. My talk is basically focused on aging population, and I will explain why I am talking about aging population. But sir, first of all, for all audience and students, it's very important what all we are talking now, AR, VR, digital twins, or any, these things are technologies. These are tools. These are not solutions. Please don't confuse solutions with tools. These are only tools. VR is a tool. You can use for play, you can use for other thing, you can use for engineering, you can use for learning, and you can use for taking care of elderly. So now the question is why and how you want to do that. And it's this is the beauty of virtual reality, and I hope everyone will agree with me, because it's all about immersion. Your department itself is about immersion. Then the question is, what is immersion? Immersion is something we go in depth, go feel ourselves inside. It's not only seeing from far, watching something. No, immersion, getting into it. Then it's come the interaction. It's not only one way, it's about interaction, how you are interacting with your data, how you are interacting with your maybe tool or any, motor, engine, whatsoever. In your case, like real estate, buildings, architecture. And then third thing, more beautiful, is imagination. There is no limit. So in reality, it may be impossible to make 300-story building, 400-story building. But in imagination, you can just make. In virtually, you can just make. So these are the three very important things which play very important role for coming up with the solutions. So once again, I repeat, please don't take this AR, VR, mixed reality, whatsoever as a solutions. These are just tools. Then here you see, we can talk about educations. These are things, again, I really appreciate our Dr. Vinay's presentation on digital twins. We are doing from long time in medical, but we don't term it as a digital twin, but more or less nowadays, now we don't need to wait for people to do some real clinical trials. We already know how the proteins work, how the antibodies are working. Then we start stimulating, creating virtual twins of antigens and antibodies and see whether what type of drugs are working with what type of drugs. This is exactly we call drug discovery. So maybe it's bit from a digital twin, but principle is the same. The next thing is we already have VR body. That means now when actually I am a medical doctor, so when we used to learn anatomy, physiology, we used to learn just by, we even don't have YouTubes at that time to go and see some videos. What we had was only books, literally like textbooks. Then just we used to see the diagram, we used to imagine, and we used to do. But now you can go into your heart, you can see where are the chambers, you can see your valves, you can see all things, and you can go into in your kidneys and you can see how glomerulonephritis, glomerulus work, how they filter things, so how your liver works. So it's totally changed. It's totally changed. So it's all about how we are promoting ourselves into this education and how we are using VR for education. Then comes to my topic of elderly living. So here, dementia, as I told, it totally disconnects you from the reality and takes you into virtual world that is called immersion. And then you can start thinking what you want, you see what you want. And in case of dementia, it's all about cognition. It's about how your brain is working or brain is not working. Then we can start giving you some mental games and exercises to your brain. Then in that way, we maintain to mitigate the complexity or severity of dementia. Then these are the few things which we are doing in our lab. So just what I did was just I have given these tools to elderly people and then they started playing. And then we have come up with some studies. So basically what I am doing in my talk is I am providing you examples of some studies, and that is how I am supporting my experience and supporting my thinking. So conclusions. So this is what. So number one, virtual reality for aging. Then the question comes, why we are talking about aging? Because of simple reasons. Of course, this is not a huge problem in India, but still, if you see by percentage, still elderly people are getting so much. But in our country, culture is a bit different. We take care of our elders. We don't want them to go away from us, and we think them as an asset for our family. But other parts of the world, it's not exactly like that because of the simple reasons. That is the lifestyle. Both wife, husband has to work, children goes to school. Then these elderly people, if they are in the cities, buildings are so small and so congested. That's why usually elderly are preferred to live and again, pollution, traffic, all those things. Therefore, they prefer to live in far village or suburbs where there is less traffic and less pollution, and they can go around at least and talk with their friends, all those things. So, but there are some problems when they are away from their parents, from their children and from their grandchildren. So here comes some sort of tools how we can mitigate their problems. And also we should be sure, we should know this, we should be aware when anyone, because see, aging is something we cannot avoid. We cannot avoid, including me, including you, each and everyone will be going into that stage of life one time. So what happens at that time is four things are must. Number one, cognitive impairment. Number two, your balance and chances of falls. And number four, dementia. And number fifth, it is about depression. Depression, again, it depends. It's not like each and everyone will get depression. Again, depend upon your life, your background, your family, how they are taking care of you. Maybe you lost your person, all those things. But whatsoever, there are few serious problems, social problems, what I'm talking. Apart from that, you will be having health problems. Nowadays, you don't even need to wait till 70s, 80s. Still in 40s, 50s, already having hypertension, diabetes, this, that. Then there are other things. So what we are trying to do is how these type of technologies can help people to mitigate or to at least cope up with such problems. Then the second thing is, as you see, diseases are getting younger and people are living longer. That is how spiraling the cost of the healthcare. So now we have so many people to take care and the cost is so huge. So everyone understands it's not necessary everyone in the family get ill. Just one is enough to bankrupt all family income, because the cost in India is so high, especially where there is no insurance, like in India. then just one people got some serious issue, then most of the all the family has to help them. And the third thing is shifting from curative care to preventive care. This is the most important point which I am focusing in my career from last several years. And for this, I want to use all tools available, all technology available. What I want to do is I want to prevent people from getting ill. I don't want to wait for them to come hospital to start the treatment. Therefore, we need to shift our healthcare from curative, because right now doctors are waiting at hospitals for patients to come after with all complexity and all these problems, then they try to treat them, which is not going to work in near future. What we need to do is we should go preventive care. How we can do that? Now comes the tools. We have enough technologies available. We have wearable devices. We have these VR, AR things, everything. We can collect all type of data, physiological data from the patients or from our users and see how they are deteriorating or maintaining or increasing, improving. So depending on that, we can take the actions before they get into severe situation. So if you take, again, I give simple example. If you use simple wearable device using on your wristband, we can know how much your patient is moving, how much he or she is walking, how much she is sleeping, when she is sleeping, when she is get up. All these things we can see just by using a wearable device. And why we should do that? Because if you will see few examples in future in my slides, how you are sleeping. No, sir, I am not sleeping well. We really don't know whether the patient is sleeping really well or not. Then are you doing exercise? Yes, I am doing exercise. We don't know how much they are doing exercise. So all these things are now documented. Therefore, we don't need to worry about asking them. Just see on the computer, everything will be there. Then healthcare is more focused on prediction and early detections of diseases and complications. At least if you can, definitely we cannot prevent every disease, but the question is whether we can early detect. Yes, we can early detect. Why we want them to get into complications? Doesn't matter whether it is hypertension or your diabetes. If you get it early, and then you can treat it easily with less medications, with less pain. No, you want to wait in hospital till the patient comes back to you with the complaints, with the complexity. What complexities happens with the diabetes? Especially there are two. The most common thing is diabetic retinopathy, where the people get blind. And the bad thing is, since we have two eyes, unless two sides are gone down, the patients really generally don't know that the eyes are getting, the sight is going down. Only when they know, it's too late to do something. That is one thing. Same thing goes with your kidneys. The second most complicated complication in diabetes is diabetic nephropathy. That is your kidneys going deteriorating or getting problem. Again, we have two kidneys. Unless two kidneys are getting bad, the patient doesn't know that he has some issues with his kidneys, and it's too late. Therefore, if you detect the diabetes at the early stage, you don't even need to wait till his eyes or kidneys are damaged. So that is the overall reason why I am talking about active aging and how we are going to help with using AR and VR. Usually VR, I am not using so much of AR, but VR is definitely. As I told, most of the time I present by showing studies. So this is the study we published like 2 years back, I suppose. No, last year actually, 2019. It's about a virtual reality among elderly, a usefulness and acceptance study from Taiwan. This is very important to know, because it doesn't matter how good technology is, how well it is designed and how easy it is, unless until the patient use it, and accept it, it's useless. So that was my first question, and that was my first study. Therefore, we started doing this study of whether people like to use virtual reality using handset, headset, and see all those things. So what we try to do is to explore the acceptance and use of VR among older people. We selected around 30 elderly patients, and then we did VR experiments twice a week, like 15 minutes at each visit for 6 weeks duration. And then we give them some VR games to promote activity, motivate their physical activity, and provide entertainment. The problem again, why we do is we also call it like a gamification. That means we try to make them physically active by asking them to play some games such as bowling, or what to say, kicking the balls, or handballs, or catching the balls, or putting the ball in a basket, or stuff like that. There are various apps available. So we have not developed any content. We just downloaded online, which we think were suitable, because we are working with elderly people. So we should be very careful that we don't make them more dizzy, or make them to fall. That will be disaster. So we took all those precautions, and then we asked them to do this for 15 minutes, not for a long time, twice a week. This is for 6 weeks. And then we did a questionnaire, because here we can't collect any objective data. We need to ask them whether they are using it or not, whether they are liking it or not. So there is something called technology acceptance model. So we use that model to evaluate the user acceptance of this technology. And as you see, the results were pretty much good. Like if you see the green parts, everyone agreed, like more than 80% people were agreed for usefulness, and almost more than 65% agreed for easy of use. Because honestly speaking, it's not so easy if you unless until you get used to it. Because if you ask you to wear an what to say, headset, and start playing, doing this interaction with the handset, it's not really easy. That's why you see the green color is not so high there. And for social norm also, it's not so much. That means still it is not common. That's why these two indicators are bit low. But enjoyment, you see, yes, they are enjoying it. And also experience, they are like almost 80%, they are saying perfect. And same thing with intention to use. More than 70% they want to use. And overall conclusion was VR was useful for 77%, easy to use by 64%, and provided an enjoyable experience by 80%, and positive attitude of old adults towards intention to use is 71%. So if you see, it's very clear, like they are willing to use. Then I went with my second study. Okay, now I know they are willing to use, then I need to do some more scientific study, which we call randomized control trial. So this is what we did. Effect of virtual reality session on quality of life, happiness, functional fitness among older people. But again, the aim of the study was to assess, as I told, quality of life, happiness, functional fitness. But we should, again, should be aware, quality of life and happiness, we cannot measure objectively. Again, we need to ask them. We need to give some questionnaire and see what do you think, whether the quality of life is improved after using this VR, whether you are more happy. The question, again, you can ask, how people can be happy by using VR? It's not about just using VR. When you do VR, you will be activating your body. You will be doing more physical fitness. You will be seeing some virtual things that definitely add to your happiness. Imagine one person, elderly people at their home, just sitting, watching TV or listening to radio or only thinking about her or his past life, and other person involved in these activities of VR sessions, doing VR, playing games, and so definitely for both of them, both the quality of life and happiness will change. But we had what to say, subjective parameters for functional fitness. So here it is. Okay, I don't want to go all these things. We talk about this. Functional inclusion criteria for the people from because we have aging center in our university, so we they come every morning 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock and they do some interaction. This is like social commitment of every university to engage with the elderly people, because Taiwan has rapid aging population, so it's very hard for them to leave them at home and wait till get the hospital. Therefore, they try to engage them, talk to them. If they don't come, they call, they know what's happening. If there is some issues, directly they can connect to the hospital. That's how it works here. And then ability to perform activity of daily living. Obviously, we don't want bedridden people to come to the center. That is not for them. These all activities which we are programmed is for the people who are healthy. They can do their own daily activities. And also they should understood the intent of the study. So as I told, we need to have the questionnaire for the quality of life. And then we have mini version was adapted to measure happiness. These things we took from the articles published, and then according to with a protocol developed by this, we recruit and we did the test. And these are the functional tests we did, where we see weight, height, systolic blood pressure, 30-second chair stand test. There were few things. We actually work with geriatrics. They have specialization in evaluating elderly, their physical fitness, all those things, because it was very important for us to see whether our VR intervention is helping them or not. So these are the functional tests. I don't want to go by each. So here it is. So they need to, this is the chair test, and this is the arm test, this is balance test, you see. So there are various functional tests we do pre and post, and we do in intervention and in control. Then we start comparing whether is this really changing or not, is this change is significant or not. As you see, the intervention is VR system was used again for 15 minutes for 12 weeks we use for this study actually. And whether various VR apps were used to improve the physical activity and well-being. So to avoid bias, different researchers were involved in data collection versus those who perform data analysis, because obviously we don't want to combine them. So we did all fair things and recruited 60 to 74 years, 24 older people in the intervention and 31 in the control. So overall we had like 60 people, and we did this a pair sample test and COVA analysis of covariance to get the results. And definitely we got the results. Happiness is improved in post-study in intervention group. Functional fitness profile showed improvement in the curl 2-minute steps. So details are there. So again, this presentation is not just showing my studies, but overall giving an idea of how VR can be used and how it can be benefit elderly people, and you can come up with any other problem, not only elderly people. But in my case, I am talking about elderly. So these are the details, how many males, how many females, by age distribution, by education, all those things. So obviously we don't need here in this point of time, because we are not going to evaluate the study. Only what we want to do is we want to understand whether this is really helping or not, and improved. If you see, there are like, yeah, improved no change, mixed change, worsen. These were the few things, outcomes of our tests. And you see, yes, all dots represent, these are like significantly improved. And definitely happiness is improved, although it is like 1.3 to 1.5 in the interventions. If you see in the control, it remains the same, 1.3 to 1.3. So these are about the changes in functional fitness for intervention and control. Again, I don't want to go in the details, but again, as I told, this was a pilot study. The number of participants were limited, although it were like 60. But again, if you want to make real change in behavior, we need to come up with few hundreds of patients, users or elderly people to prove our scientifically, yes, this is VR is really going to help. And VR apps which are improved, which can improve all overall happiness, well-being of humans, were significantly, specifically to develop based on requirement of older population. Providing VR sessions for longer duration could be more effective investigating the effect before and after an intervention. So it's also very important to see how long we can provide them. It's not like we can provide endlessly. So I conclude this, my second study. Our study provide data on effect of VR session on quality of life, happiness, and functional fitness component to motivate healthy aging with a sense of well-being among older population. Further studies are required to investigate on personalized content of VR apps and time frame. These improves can be sustained. How, yeah, this is very important because for some people you need maybe like 15-minute sessions twice a week. But for some people, you may need like 30-minute session thrice a week or even 4 times a week. So this is like more personalization. So for this, we need more data. We need more studies. So right now, we are still continuing our studies. Let's see how it goes. But apart from that, I also want to present few other studies conducted around other part of the world so that we can understand what's happening. So I took again the effect of virtual reality on gaming dynamics and balance in older people. This study evaluated how this virtual reality gaming affects on balance of older population. As I told, older population, balance is very important. Why we need balance? Because of chances of falling down. The unfortunate thing about falling down is if any elderly fall down once, the chances of following second times will be 10 times higher. Therefore, it's very important to see they should not fall down. And if they fall down, hip bone or femur femur will be get fractured, and then they will be bedridden. There is lot of problems for them. It's not like for children or elder or young people, it recovers. They take a lot of time for recovery. In this time, they get bedridden, then they get bed sores, you get lot of other problems. Therefore, it's very, very important, as I told in the beginning, prevention, prevention, prevention. So we should see they should not fall down. And what are the measures to see? That is, their balance is good. This was randomized controlled trial again by 40 elderly people thrice a week for 6 weeks duration, and they use hopefully you guys knows about Nintendo and Wi-Fi balance intervention. So you take the devices before computer in your TV and you connect with the sensors, and how you do balance, it shows, and it also records. And the measurements were 8 foot up and go test and activity specific balance. And definitely they saw what to say improvement. If you see in ABC, activity specific balance confidence, it was Yeah, okay. It was significantly improved, and same thing goes with GDS, that is geriatric depression scale. Median change is 1, and it is in control group, it's 0. And the conclusion was virtual reality gaming is a useful tool for improving dynamic balance and balance confidence in older population. And this is the fourth study. Actually, I want to present for total 5 studies. So just bear with me, I will be faster. So this is about feedback integrated rehabilitation for sit to stand training, a pilot randomized control trial. Here they did with 16 people, because you see it's not so easy to do all these tests and recruit people and convince them to use this handset for this many weeks. So this was not so big study, but still, if they publish, that means they have done the job. Virtual reality system with visual and audio feedback on performance, and they did like dignity assessment tool and elderly mobility score. And again, increase in this score was 2.48 with p-value 4.3, feasible and safe for rehabilitation, acceptable, motivating, intuitive, and enjoyable. That is the conclusion. And the last study is about the Great Escape virtual reality as complementary therapy in elderly in residential settings. So this they try to do at the home. Again, it is a pilot study where they recruit again less number of people for 4 weeks duration, and they use Oculus. This is different. This is just you can use your phone and without any wires connecting to the computer. Oculus is so easy, but again there are nuances of Oculus versus Viva. Here you cannot have interactive. This is like just seeing, viewing things, not a lot of movement. So measurement quality of life through this questionnaire they did, and the conclusion is yes, they had enjoyed the experience and the improved quality of life. So why I'm showing all these things is it's not only our study which come up with such results. It's a known fact all around the world. People are conducting studies and coming up with this kind of thing. So I think basically my take home messages is, once again, I repeat, technologies are tools, they are not solutions. So don't focus on tools, only focus on the problems which you want to solve. And then we can select appropriate tools. Maybe it can be twin digitals, or it can be VR, it can be AR, anything, but it has to be logic, it has to be meaningful. Why we want to use this particular technology to solve this particular problem. So basically, these are the things which I wanted to share. So I will be more than happy to take some questions.
Okay, Dr. Shabir said that was one amazing presentation that you had. We all know that during this time of pandemic, the situation that we never foreseen, and the people, you kind of people are doing a godly job. So now, at least now, the public are actually aware of the works that you guys been contributing to the field of medicine, and we are thankful for that, and we are thankful for everything that you've been doing before. That was it was a seamless presentation that actually told us in a nutshell that how virtual reality demystifies the communication between a medical representative and the general public, and also enabled us to seamlessly connect in diagnosing and in treating and all kind of medications that we are going to do in the future. It was very exciting, and we can't wait to actually jump into those kind of years which is ahead of us. Now, as I said, thank you to your presentation at the moment. The floor is open for our participants to ask a few questions. We have been logging a lot of questions so far, and I'm going to request Professor Arun to consolidate the questions that has been asked, and could you please consolidate them to Dr. Shabir sir so he can able to answer towards all the participants. Over to you,
Yeah.
Arun.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Surendran sir, so thanks for handling me this session, questionnaires, and I thank Dr. Shabir for this such an informative session. And sir, we have few questions here from our participants, and can I ask the question, sir, on behalf of them?
Sure.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The first question is from Professor Gopinath Devraj of EIT University. He asks us like, can you please give your views on the possibility of neurological rehabilitation using virtual reality?
Exactly. Very good question. And we are doing this in our hospital because neurological rehabilitation is one of very important tool because to make this more understandable for common people, what here we are talking about stroke. And here we are talking about people know definitely if you get stroke, it takes months to get rehabilitation. And what we do traditionally is we keep what to say physiotherapist to go and do the massage, and then the physiotherapist after doing 1 month 2 month massage, he or she asks the patient to do some exercises. But the question mark here is how well the patient is performing what to say exercises, and is there any records, whether we can have any records of their body movement. Therefore, what we are trying to do is we are connecting wearable device with the VR, and wearable device are connecting recording the movement of the arm or leg, and VR is promoting them for use of as I told you, if arm like right arm is paralyzed and we went and we do some physiotherapy, now it's in rehabilitation, the patient can move, but we want him to motivate for more physical exercise so that he can regain his power. So what we can do is we can give him VR and ask him to play the games where he needs to move his arms. At the same time, we record the movement of his arm using wearable device. That is how we are doing, and we are doing in our neurological rehabilitation in our university hospital. Hope I answered the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And we have one more question from Dr. Govindraj Pandit. How VR can help physically challenged?
I think it's applies same thing. It all depend upon at what level they are physically challenged and to what extent we can help. Because again, as I told, these are tools. These are not magic. You put on physically disabled person and he start running and walking. No, it's not going to happen. What we can do is, what is the problem? Like previous question. So we have the problem, how we can motivate them to do more exercise with the arms which got involved in stroke or paralyzed. If you talk about physically disabled, okay, if you want them to play football virtually, we can just make by, again, we need to see what movements they can have. According to that, we can play them football. If we want them to play volleyball virtually, again we can play, but again we need to see what type of interaction we can collect from them. So we cannot say one standard answer for this question, but of course there are possibilities. This is a VR is like virtual reality, so you can make them to do whatever you want. Even we can ask them to play football, the people who are bedridden. So that's all. Though maybe they can play kick their ball by using their arms. So it all
Yes.
depends upon what we need.
And one more question from Dr. Maheshwari. Will the VR goggle affect the vision of elderly person? Because most of the elderly persons may have vision problem.
True. That's a very good question. Usually, as you see, everyone has the elderly people have the glasses. But the good thing about the device, it depends upon the device. You can adjust in the device your wavelength, or what you say, the point. So usually you don't need to wear glasses when you use your handset. You can adjust it using the device. Again, it depends upon the device. If the device is not capable of adjusting your lens, then there are devices where you can use your glasses and use the headset. And the third option is you can use lens and then use headset. So it's depending upon the situation we can do, but this is a type of concern for all elderly people. It's not only elderly people, for everyone who has glasses.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And we have one question from our YouTube live member. It is like, how can we use VR in defense systems?
As I told, it's all up to your imagination for training purpose. If he's talking defense, we are talking about training. Then we can make an environment of all people going on with war. Then you have your own tool, and you know the specification of your tool. Then we can train at the what distance you need to fire, what degree you should keep, and this is all like physics. To see the parabola of your missile and all those things. So again, there is no limitation. Then again, I repeat same thing. You need to know your problem. Once you know your problem, so in this case, you want to train your soldier or your person in army how to use the tool he has to use. So obviously you cannot go and do in reality. Therefore, we can use the handset and use the same specification. In that way, we can train. Here, the whole logic is training them to fix the parameters, to fix the angles by which they need to fire and all those stuff.
Thank you, sir. And I wish to conclude with one more last question from Dr. Sivaramakrishnan. Will the usage of HMD affect the elderly with vertigo problems?
I need to know what is HMD.
Oh,
Of
anyway,
course.
sir, we shall skip this question, and we are getting
It's
bored of this
head-mounted
question.
display.
Head-mounted display.
Head-mounted display. Okay. Can you repeat again?
Will the usage of HMD affect the
Vertigo.
elderly with vertigo problems?
Exactly. Yes. Again, we need to be very careful choosing this because they are having already vertigo. Vertigo is dizziness for people who don't know. So already they are having dizziness. So we cannot give them more complicated or games which make them more dizzy. So maybe we can give them things which make them more calm. But again, here the question is treatment. I don't think we can treat the people just by taking them to virtual reality. So virtual reality is only useful for training or for showing things people what they want to see. Vertigo is equilibrium problem. So it's more by using treatment rather than using VR. So personally, I have not seen any study which tackling vertigo using VR.
Yes, sir. With one last question, I wish to conclude. The question is from one of our student, Aditya Mahadev. It's like, is VR effective in treating patients who are suffering from withdrawal syndrome? And if so, what is the approximate rate of recovery?
Okay, that question is very good, but obviously, unless we do some clinical studies, we cannot give confirmatory reply to it, the effectiveness. But for sure, I can say it will help. How? Because it distracts your brain. The withdrawal syndrome is more physiological and psychological. Psychologically, we can take him to the place, making him not to think about, because what happened in withdrawal syndrome is people are in a urge of drinking. The only thing in their mind is they want to drink, nothing else. So therefore, we can attempt to take them to the virtual environment, to some other place, seeing, feeling them that they are happy, they are not thinking about drinking. That we can do, but again, we need to do some study. I cannot just give a random answer saying, yes, we can do. No, I don't want to say things which I have not done. But I think we can attempt, and there are chances of doing this.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your kind answers. And to adhere with the timeline, want to finish the questionnaire session as of now. And I wish Dr. Surendheran to take the control and to hand over the next session to the upcoming participants. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I once again want to thank to all you guys, all audience for bearing me for this much of time. And once again, I thankful for VIT for giving this wonderful opportunity to share my experiences. Thank you, guys.
So thank you for the patience and for the participants and Dr. Shabir sir for patiently answering questions. We do have a few more questions as well, but we will address them as we are running a little bit short in our schedule. So Dr. Shabir sir, we may actually request you to stay back a little more time to listen to a couple of papers. That the open information to this forum is Dr. Shabir sir will be acting up as a session chair for 3 presentations that has been queued up for Dr. Shabir's session, and the session will be co-chaired by Professor Raja and Professor Dineshkumar. So yeah, the first presenter is Miss Suganya S. And the title of her presentation is an evaluation study on visualization and visualization of educational science contents using augmented reality in Tamil Nadu Schools live mobile app. So I'm going to invite Ms. Suganya, please, to share your screen and start your presentation, ma'am. Over to you.
Is my voice audible?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning to all the virtual listeners. I'm really excited to present my research work in this virtual conference. Hope you all find my research and finding interesting. Here I start my presentation. My research title, an evaluation study on virtualization and visualization of educational science contents using augmented reality in TN Schools Live mobile app, by me, Suganya, under the supervision of Dr. Velaida. Let me explain the peculiar word seen in the title first. Virtualization means creating a virtualization of something which does not exist, but made by software to appear to be exist. Visualization means communicating message through visual contents. So how visualization of educational content happens? Through augmented reality. So what is augmented reality? Augmented reality is a technology using which virtual objects are superimposed on users' view of the real world, thus providing a composite view. The image in the slide is an example where the virtual heart is superimposed on a user's view of the real world using augmented reality through a mobile device. The main aim of the study is to evaluate augmented reality based learning experience of students. To be precise, to evaluate AR-based learning experience of 10th grade students with a specific reference to science subject. Why 10th students and why science subject? The mobile app mentioned in the title, TN Schools Live app, has educational contents of only 10th and 12th grade students subjects. 10th grade students are less exposed to technology compared to 12th grade students. And science subject has many number of attractive diagrams for which AR contents are available in the app. And the topic heart, circulatory system of man, from biology chapter 5 was chosen for the study considering the topic's importance for both general knowledge and examination purpose of the 10th grade students. AR technology has emerged everywhere and currently it is booming in education. The following are the findings of researchers on AR for education. AR is found to be attractive for teaching. AR is found to be very effective, especially for science teaching. AR offers a practical technique which engages the learners. AR has a positive impact on students' motivation towards learning. Researcher Radu in 2014 analyzed several publications related to AR for education and listed the following as the benefits. AR increased content understanding. AR improved long-term memory retention, improved physical task performance, improved collaboration, and increased student motivation towards learning. So this is a wireframe of TN School's live mobile app. This is the home screen, which has two options to choose from, either 10th or 12th grade book. Once you select the 10th grade book, the app will make use of the camera of the mobile device and display the instruction over it. The instruction in the Tamil language means keep your mobile towards the textbook. It also has a skip option in the bottom to skip the instruction once you get used to the app. The second instruction says keep your mobile and textbook in right position. And the final instruction says try to keep your textbook in good lighting. Once you go through the instruction and when you keep the textbook as instructed, this is the how the 3D augmented reality object will appear on your mobile screen. The 3D AR object in the app is constructed in a way that it rotates and can be stopped in a screen touch to view from a particular position. And when you touch the screen again, it will start rotating. For zoom in or zoom out look of the 3D AR object, one need to move the mobile device towards or away from the textbook. There is a downloading symbol under the 3D AR object. When you click it, an animated video explaining the function of heart, in this case, will be played in the mobile device. Again, the video will be explaining things in Tamil language. Now we understand how the TN Schools Live app works, but how augmented reality works. Okay, augmented reality works in three phases. First, track the marker. The camera available in the mobile is used by the app to track the markers in the textbook. Once markers are tracked, pattern recognition takes place where the traced marker will be compared with the stored data. Once match is found, the 3D content respective to the marker will be rendered on the mobile screen along with what is visible through the mobile camera. This is how augmented reality works, and TN Schools Live app makes use of image-based tracking. That is, the marker will be an image. I hope you all remember what Professor Dineshkumar explained about image-based tracking earlier in this morning. So I'm moving to the next slide. Methodology. We adopted experimental research design for the study, which involved a post-test, focus group discussion, teachers interview, and a statistical test to find the association between AR exposure and students' performance. In order to understand what kind of effect AR has on student learning, a post-test questionnaire was developed. The questionnaire consisted of 8 close-ended questions, yes or no question, 7 multiple choices question, and 5 open-ended questions. All the questions were framed visual-based rather than knowledge-based to check the maximum effectiveness of AR content. The study sample comprised of 50 Tamil Nadu government school students of 10th grade enrolled during the academic year 2018-19. Among the 50, 20 were from English medium and 30 from Tamil medium. First, the 50 students were divided into two groups. Group 1, student with odd roll number, and Group 2, student with even roll number. Then the chosen topic, heart circulatory system of man, was taught using traditional method to Group 1. Then post-test was conducted for Group 1. Later, Group 2 students were given a brief introduction on how to manipulate AR objects through TN Schools Live mobile app. Then the same topic was taught to Group 2 students by exposing them to 3D augmented reality heart. Then post-test was conducted for Group 2, which was followed by a group discussion with the presence of subject experts, both English and Tamil medium 10th grade science teachers. The post-test worksheets of G1 and G2 were evaluated by the subject experts. The post-test findings were interpreted quantitatively, whereas the focus group discussion and teachers interview findings were articulated qualitatively. Major post-test finding: the average percentage of correct answers given by Group 1 and 2 students after post-test are listed in the table. First is a very basic question: what is the shape of the heart? Only 44% from Group 1 gave correct answer, and it is 96% with Group 2. Second question: where is aorta present in the heart? To this visual as well as knowledge-based question, 44% from group 1 and 92% from group 2 gave correct answers. Third question, how many chambers does a human heart has? This question is said to be important in the exam point of view and was given extra importance while teaching. Also, number type answers are always easy to remember for the students than descriptive type answers. So majority students, 92% from group 1 and 96% from group 2 gave correct answers. Next question, how many branches of aorta are visible in the heart? The result summary of this particular question dragged much interest. This question is purely visual based and there wasn't any content in the textbook related to this question. So there wasn't much importance given to this while teaching. So only 12% from group 1 and 20% from group 2 were able to answer correctly. This clearly indicates that students give their most attention to contents that are important for their exam point of view. Next question, what is the color of superior vena cava shown in the textbook for G1 and AR for G2? 44% from G1 answered correctly since the question is visual based and remembering the color is easy for human brain. After being exposed to AR, 88% from group 2 were able to answer correctly. This proves long-term memory retention of AR. Next question, similar to previous one, purposely asked to check the confidence of the students. What is the color of inferior vena cava shown in textbook for G1 and AR for G2? The correct answers percentage little drop with G1 to 40% and maintain the same with G2. This proves that learning through AR improves the confidence of the students towards giving a correct answer. Next, where is superior vena cava present? This is a subject-oriented knowledge as well as visual-based question. 36% from G1 and 64% from G2 answer correctly. Again, a similar question to previous one, where is inferior vena cava present? 24% from G1 and 60% from G2 answered answered correctly. The table summary itself clearly shows how effective augmented reality-based teaching is. Other post-test findings. When asked students whether they were able to visualize how the closed heart will look like, only 60% from G1 said yes, and it is 92% with G2. When asked a multiple choice question, which method did students like the most to visualize the heart? 100% everyone from G2 opted augmented reality. 88% students believe that their understanding improved using AR for teaching. 88% students expressed that they were interested to learn other topics using AR, and 96% expressed that they will suggest TN Schools Live app for their friends to use. The most important findings from focus group discussion conducted with group 2 are following. The students were very happy and enthusiastic to see a new technology aiding their learning experience. They expressed that they felt easy and comfortable to use the app and explore the AR content. Many felt the AR technology to be attractive, interesting, and even beautiful. Some expressed that they felt the 3D AR objects look so real and wonderful. Many expressed that learning through AR gave better understanding than learning from book. We then had a casual interview with the subject teachers about the aid of AR for teaching. They seemed to welcome the new technology for teaching purposes. They found it easy to show and explain 3D objects through AR, which they believed to be more effective than showing any images in textbook or chart or models. They agreed that the students get more enthusiastic to see the 3D objects of the image printed in the book, which draw more attention of students, and students were able to remember it for a long time when compared to teaching using traditional methods. Even then, they were not ready to encourage students to use mobile inside the classroom because of the fear of misusage of mobile by the students.
Sorry to interrupt, Ms. Suganya. We are running out of time, so kindly conclude as soon as possible.
Few more slides, sir.
10 minutes is the maximum time given for each presenter.
Okay. I'll try to rush. We adopted Keller's ARCS model to support the study. The ARCS model measure motivation from 4 dimensions: attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. Here are the findings based on ARC's model. AR gains more attention of the learners than traditional teaching method, which was clearly visible from the result of post-test and focus group discussion. The contents in TN Schools Live app were the 3D augmented reality objects of the images printed in the 10th grade textbook. So AR contents were relevant and useful to the learners and motivate them to study with better understanding. From the focus group discussion, the confidence of the students towards answering the questions they learned through AR and their willingness to learn other subjects using AR was discovered. Finally, the post-test summary clearly witnessed the satisfaction factor of the learners using AR, accomplishing all the 4 factors of Keller's ARCS model. AR educational contents definitely motivates the learners to a greater extent. To statistically test the association between AR exposure and students' performance, chi-square test of independence was done with null hypothesis. AR exposure and students' performance are independent and alternative hypothesis dependent. The output resulted in p-value less than 0.05. So null hypothesis is rejected and we assume alternate hypothesis true, that is AR exposure and students performance are dependent. Further, to test the effect size of the association between AR exposure and students performance, phi coefficient was found which resulted in value 0.536. This signifies that the effect size is large, so AR exposure and students performance are highly associated. This study did had some limitations, which are mobile devices should be equipped with hardware that support latest technology so that AR data can be rendered easily and completely. Next and most importantly, the internet connectivity is still a problem because there are so many places where no connection is available, and internet connectivity is a must all the time to access AR data through the app. The app is only available for Android OS and not for iOS, so iPhone users will not be able to use the app, and all the instruction in the app given in state language Tamil, so people who don't know to read Tamil will face problem to use it. The parts of objects were marked in the textbook images but not in the 3D AR objects in the app, which is another important limitation of the app. Finally, as a conclusion of the study, we strongly recommend to adopt AR technology for teaching purposes. AR definitely will be the most used teaching tool in the near future. References and thank you. Questions?
Shadi sir, any questions?
Yeah, Ms. Surendheran, it was really a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have 3 questions. Like in your presentation, it has been mentioned that after the post AR test, when you took the survey from the students regarding the position of left aura and the color of aura of those, yeah, and seems the percentage what you're shown is it's really too much. Like it seems that students are able to perform better only when they learn from AR. So without AR, their percentage seems like 12%, 44 and 24. And with the AR, you showed that the percentage has increased to 96% and 88. So does it mean that without AR, the students are performing poor? Because
Okay.
for statistics, it states that without AR, out of the 8 topics, only in 1 topic students has secured 19% and above. The rest of the 7 topics, they are all secured 45, lesser than 45%. So
okay. Maybe the reason AR grabs most attention of students, and with normal teaching with blackboard and books, they are used to it and they doesn't give much importance while teaching during the class. Maybe they can read it again for exam later. So while the posters happen, the result came out like this, and AR definitely grab much attention because it is completely new for them.
Yeah, and there's another question, like in your study, have you focused anywhere about the amount of focus that the students have put in AR when compared to the traditional classroom learning?
Well,
Have
I
you
think okay, you complete.
Yeah, have you anybody listed the amount of concentration or the focus that the students has put before the AR and AR?
I think the post-test result itself shows the amount of concentration they put on AR when compared to traditional teaching method. So
Okay, so because since it is an explorative learning, so there might be a reason or a way that students might get lost by learning through augmented reality. So rather than focusing into the subject, they might be diverted by playing with the technology or something like that. So is there if there is any statistics like that to show that percent of students have focused this much, this percent of students have diverted a little. So if that might be more helpful.
it was completely a control group. So we
Okay.
taught them using AR. Then we conducted a post test. So mobile devices were made to use by them only during the teaching purpose. So there wasn't any possibility. We didn't notice any such complaints during our research. But
Okay.
yes, the teachers mentioned that as a problem in using AR through mobile in classroom, regular teaching purposes.
Okay. From my side.
Shabir sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is wonderful presentation and this is timely solution. That is what I was saying. If you were talking about this like some other time, then people may not have given so much importance. But now in this COVID era and post-COVID era, the tools like this will be definitely helpful and useful for our children. That is number one. Number two, we need to also consider our what to say background or the situation infrastructure, because you told in limitations that it needs always what to say Wi-Fi connectivity, right? Internet connectivity. Why don't you do downloadable content? Then you don't need Wi-Fi all the time, because again, we are not only focusing people in the cities, we want to reach to the people in the village. So I think making it a downloadable content will be very, very useful. And then what happens is at the students will be reading the book. At the same time, they are using VR for extra knowledge or for references. So what happens when they're using this AR is they are as you told, they get more attention towards the content. They give special attention. Reading is, we are reading from childhood. So it's just like pages, like diagram we saw many times, but now it's not like that. We see some object, you can rotate, you can play, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. Then whenever they are doing this, they are learning. And this is the principle Finland people use so much. I don't know how much of you are aware. Finland has the best education system in the world, and they never have any examination from 1 to 10 because they use all gamification. They teach colors by games. They teach numbers by games. They teach. So this is one type of games that people get more interested, because if you don't use this AR, they may not even go and open the book. But now you provide them a new tool. It's for them a toy actually. And they start playing and they get more information. And this is wonderful. I think, yeah, you need to consider how you can make, obviously you can make it downloadable content, and then that's it.
Thank you so much for the comment, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Two quick questions from the participants, Ms. Suganya. One question is from Daniel Sundarraj, how much it is useful in medical field? And the other one is from Annie, how far this will be useful in language teaching?
Okay, for medical, my research is only for education, so I don't know the answer for the first question. And how far it is useful for language teaching? AR of images, pictures, or 3D content will be easy to produce, easy to showcase through AR. With language, I don't know seriously.
I think I can add a comment, Professor Raja. For even for
Yes, please.
language, yeah, it's language. It's all about vocabulary. Maybe if it is the case, then you can show things like vocabularies to show again contents. If they want to learn something, they can show content. At the same time, they can provide some sort of audio messages or audio these things to correct the grammar or stuff like that. But again, this is rough idea. But as you told, yeah, you need to go in depth in order to come up with the concrete solution for this.
Okay, so any more questions? Any more questions we do have?
Since there are no questions, sir, maybe we can switch to the next participant.
Okay. All right. It was an amazing presentation, Mr. Surendheran. Thank you so much for being with us and presenting your paper in ICEVAR. Again, for the session chair, Dr. Shabir sir and Raja and Dinesh, you guys are doing a brilliant job. So what we're going to do is we are going to head with our second paper presented by Dr. Dineshkumar K. The title of his paper is Learning Programming Language via Augmented Reality. So inviting Dineshkumar to the floor, please. Over to you, Dineshkumar.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you guys see my slide?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning to everyone. And my title of the paper, which I'm going to present, is Learning Programming Language via Augmented Reality. And so with the words of Sabir sir, sir have mentioned that technology cannot be a solution, but we can use the tool. And also he pointed out that the importance of gamings and the importance of medical issues. So here I like to point out two objectives in my research. One is how to make the students to have an interest in programming language. So make the students more attracted to in learning programming language using augmented reality. And second objective of my research is how to reduce a technical issue, that is when we are transferring a video between two mediums. For example, here it might be a mobile phone which a student could use to view the video. So here there is a jitter effect. So how we can able to avoid that jitter effect? So this jitter effect will have a very big issue, health issue in students. How we can overcome that issue? And I would like to give an introduction about virtual reality. Virtual reality is a digital environment which replaces the user's real environment. And augmented reality, which overlays a digitally created content into the real world environment. And mixed reality is a combination of these two things where we will be seamlessly blending these two contents. And the important, why I choose programming language is that, so the importance in programming language when it depends upon all of the industries which is available. So for example, in 2D and 3D applications, we are using OpenGL library to create 3D models and 2D images, and even using SVG applications in websites. So for example, to animate a 3D model in Blender, we are using Python scriptings. So, and even in gamings, we use Pygame library to create a game. So this tells us the importance of programming language and how we can able to make the student interest in learning programming language in a visualized environment and make them to interact with the task which we give. So this is an introduction and how nowadays in the education system, how the instructors are using this game-based learning uh, methodology to adapt the students in learning the programming language. These are some example website which is used by many instructors to make the students to visually and interactively learn the programming language. And we can able to use this concept also in the augmented reality. So these are some surveys which are already presented by many researchers. Here, Chandramouli have presented a paper where he have used learning-centric and user-friendly environment to teach programming language. And 10CH have used a holistic window rather than our normal PC window. He used holistic window, which can be used even in a mobile or any other medium to have a 3D perspective view of a programming language. So this literature survey is about the second issue, which I have pointed out, how to reduce the jitter effect in the video while we are transmitting the video from a medium. So here we can able to use a stabilization to minimize this jitter effect. And these stabilizations can be done by spatial and temporal information. So about the spatial and temporal information, I would like to tell some points about that in the future slides. So in my work, 2 points, it is a very important points which I have taken. That is, by using the gaming, we can make the programming language subjects more interactive and more interested to the students. And also by using a stabilization method, we can able to reduce the jitter effect in video transmission. So this is the proposed workflow by which we can able to use in augmented reality for having the task, whatever the concepts which we are going to teach to the students, which we can have as a task. That is, a task here is a game. So by using the game as a task, we can able to easily interact with the students and make them learn in a visualized environment, so that the student can immerse in this environment even in more interested way. So here we can able to give kind of a problem solving task to solve these problem solving tasks with a gaming environment. So by using this environment, we can able to attract students rather than in an unconventional way. So if this is a second issue which I have taken. By using videos, we will be teaching the students about the concept of programming language or any other subject material. And whenever the video size is high, or whenever the transmission rate, the bandwidth is low, there is a possibility of transmitting the video with a jitter effect. So by using the spatial temporal stabilization of the video, we can able to minimize this jitter effect. So, and how this spatial temporal technology works is that the video is a collection of frames, and every frame has an there is a connection between the first frame and the second frame. And if there is an inconsistency between the frames, it will lead to a discontinued information which will be passed to the person who is viewing that video. So it will also have an effect in the viewer's perspective. So by tackling this issue, we can able to overcome this jitter effect. So here there is 3 steps we can able to use to avoid this jitter effect, that is feature detection and feature description and feature matching. So feature detection is that we are going to detect unique points in the frames. So here there are going to be there might be two cameras involved, that is the left side camera and right side camera, and we are going to use stereo based vision, and there might be a chance that we might even use single camera. So, and we can able to use this multi-view information with the both the spatial information, that is here spatial is nothing but the single image, and temporal information. The temporal information is about the frames, that is the nth frame and the n+1 frame. So by taking out the unique points from these images, we can able to match the first frame to the next frame. By doing the registration process between these two frames, we can able to reduce the jitter effect. So that is, jitter effect can happen when there is a single frame which will not be transmitted to the end user. So by using this registration, we can able to rectify that untransmitted frame or inconsistent frame. So next, that feature description. This is a continuation process of whatever the points we have detected. We are going to describe the detected feature point. Here feature point is nothing but the XY coordinate of a pixel in the frame, and frame is the image. So we are going to describe the surrounding information of that particular XY coordinate. So by using those surrounding information, we are going to match it with the first frame and the next frame. By matching those two things, we are going to register the image. So this is the model which we have proposed, and here you guys can see that there is a multi-view, that is a view. This is the left side view and this is the right side view, and this is the first frame and this is the next frame. So you can see that there is a blue mark. This is nothing but the future points. So here we are going to take the gradient information from these multi-view images, that is a videos. Here we are going to match these all information to avoid this jitter effect. So this is where we are going to do the video stabilization. So once we have selected the future points, we need to select the anchor point. So here we are going to select 3 closely placed future points, and we are going to select one anchor point from that, which is randomly selected, and this randomly selected future point will be taking the least distanced future points in the frame. So after selecting these future points, we are going to use a binary string for each and every pixel value. So with that binary string, we are going to match the future points. So we're going to use a binary descriptor for this. So that why the reason we are going for the binary value is that it is time consuming when there is a, because we are going to deal with many frames, and the frames the dimension of the video might be higher. We don't want to concentrate too much on processing time. So we need to reduce the processing time as well. So this, by using the binary descriptor, we can able to reduce the processing time. And after matching these feature points with the reference of these coordinated points, we are going to stabilize the video. So from my study, I can able to conclude that by using the gaming concept to teach the students, we can have the students interaction and interest in the programming language subject. And because the programming language is going to be important subject around many industries, it will be helpful for the students. So by augmenting this game task to teach the students, we can able to make the students to understand the concept even more clear. So that is, and also by using this spatial temporal video stabilization in augmented reality, we can able to rectify or minimize the technical issue which we will be facing while transmitting the video between two medium, to avoid the issues which will be faced by the students. And this is the feature model which I am thinking of to proceed with this research by using artificial intelligence. That is, whenever the student is completed a task, this is going to be recorded in the database. By using those data and analyzing those information, we can able to improve the problem solving task which we have given already, and making that problem solving task to go above a level and make it in a real time, so that the student can improve in his learning of the concept. So by improving this performance, that is this task problem solving level, we can solve higher order problems by using AR application. So these are some references. Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to present my paper in ICEVAR conference. And thank you for the dignitaries.
Dr. Shabir, sir, if you have any questions, you can ask him, sir.
No, I think I am fine. It's more engineering oriented paper, but I like the approach. So I am fine. I don't want to get involved into things which I am not expert in.
Is there any questions from the audience side? So, yeah, a quick question, Dineshkumar sir, like why are mining this temporal spatial problem? Because it's been there for a long time, since the inception of virtual and augmented reality.
Yes, sir. This is because when recently we are even hearing the some issues regarding students has been spending more time with the mobile phones and videos. So, and also because many citizens are using mobile phones around a particular area. Right now, because of this pandemic, we can able to find many people's inside their home, and we can able to see that the usage of this mobile network and internet is more when compared to the previous days. So in that particular session, so this will have a effect when it comes to transmission of video. So it is a practical and technical difficulties which we will face when we are tutoring or making the student to learn a particular topic. So at that time, by using the spatial temporal information, we can able to use the information which we have already attained in our object.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Doing that, we can able to minimize these technical difficulties.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So I think there are no more questions from us. So I would like to convey my sincere thanks to Dr. Dineshkumar in making this presentation.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to hand over the session to Prof.Surendheran. Please, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. And I'm going to request Dineshkumar sir to stop sharing his screen, please. And yeah, so the last paper for this session under the chair of Dr. Shabir is going to be presented by Dr. Ben. And the paper is titled Augmented Reality and Virtual Reality, a 360-degree immersion into Western history of architecture. So hereby I invite Dr. Ben, please, to present. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, hello, good morning, everyone. I'll share my screen. Hello. Do you see it?
Yes, sir, we can see and hear.
Yes, sir, good.
Okay, great. So basically, the paper presentation is about the use of augmented reality and virtual reality in the Western History Architecture course in the School of Architecture. Okay, so basically we teach history of architecture in schools within the simple way, this since almost more than 100 years, actually the same way. So the students, they watch the PPTs and they listen to the professor and they memorize what the information, and later they give it us to back in the exam. However, we got some kind of question actually, how actually VR and AR can change the way we are learning and the way we are teaching history, specifically history of architecture. But before to answer this question, I would like to answer another question, which is, what are the impact? What is the impact of technology on history of architecture? Okay, so teaching technologies, we got, okay, PPT. This is today the new technology we are using. It's PPT. We do PPT presentations. And 60 years ago, we used actually the slide projectors, which is exactly the same technology. So here it's a student homework submitted 60 years ago in architecture school. So they have to do some kind of graphic representation and submit it. And within now, actually, with my own students in the School of Architecture, I asked them to do an analysis of 2 different buildings. One which in Italy, these 2 buildings are really famous, and one in USA in contemporary style. So the analysis was really, really interesting. Why? Because at the end, this is what the student, they submitted to me. It's only a rough sketch and the copy text from Wikipedia, which they submitted. And for them, this is an architectural analysis. Obviously, there is a problem in the teaching of history of architecture. However, before that, I asked, usually the students, they gave me feedback about their impression of history of architecture. So because they're fresh, we usually teach history of architecture in 1st or 2nd grade. So what they said for them, history is boring class, it's useless, and it's basically on memorizing facts and dates and names, and it has no meaning in their professional, educational life as architects. And usually they forget everything just after the exam, so they study for the exam. But the idea is, what is history of architecture and why do we have to teach it to all students? Because it's a core course, it's mandatory for all of them. Basically, it teaches them critical thinking and how to think like an architect. So we study the past to design the present and the future. So it's all about creating forms, creating spaces. It's all about gaining a technical vocabulary. It's all about visual identification, but maybe it's more about to train the eye to observe. It's not seeing, it's not watching, but it's more about observing. So these are few slides of my classes, which I deliver with the 2nd grade of students. And you can see how it is flat. This is pictures. I try to make the pictures as big as I can, but it's still flat. And the students, since they are in early stage of the university, they are not able to think in 3D. So still, I saw it, there is something wrong with the teaching method. So I was looking, is there any other method to teach, especially history of architecture? There is what we know actually about experiential learning spiral model, which is adapted actually from Kolb's model. And basically this is teaching and learning based on experience. So the student experience, so they get actually time to reflect and think about what they learned, the material, the knowledge, and later they conceptualize the reflection, what they learned, then they experiment, then again they have a new experience, then again and again and again. So here we got actually what we call the knowledge acquisition. At the same time, it's comprehension, application, and evaluation. So through time, the student can gain a lot of knowledge while experiencing each time a new experience. So basically, what does it mean, experience, for us architects? For us, it means actually the accumulation of knowledge or skills in direct observation or participation during time in some kind of activity. And all this is very important to the practical skill of any architect, especially because architecture is a professional field. So it's really important. If they don't learn how to design in school, so they can't learn it outside with learning it within a book, reading a book. It will be really difficult. So here it comes the virtual reality, which is about immersion, interaction, and imagination. So basically, we have what we call in VR the locomotion. The locomotion, which is mainly how we move, movement inside spaces, movement in any type of movement. So how can we use this locomotion in architecture? Basically, we can use, or it's already still in use now, the VR and AR in many different fields, such as cultural heritage, games, education, military, aviation, medicine. So all this, it's very used. Actually, it's on news actually. And here you got a few publication list of a few universities who are already using VR and AR in their teaching in design or art related field. So you have landscape, you have urban design, you have art history, and we have at the same time history of architecture. Here I want to point that the fact in Hong Kong, they did a really good job while they teach students, they train teachers to teach students, and they have a shared 3D material, virtual material, which can be passed from school and to the other school, and it can be used in perpetuity, and of course updated each time. So it's not really new stuff, but it's already in use. So architects, they are already using it, but the problem is not using it after. I want the architects using it already inside the school before actually coming, getting the degree and making actually the real architecture. Here in VIT, we have at the school what we call the study tour, which is a field trip, which is a type of study or teaching method of history, where the students, they have to go about 2 weeks in North India. They were supposed to go actually last March in North India, and they paid about $16,000 for 2 weeks, and they have to take trains, buses, flights, and to go, but they were really fortunate to not go, because if they went, they were locked down somewhere without any possibility to come back to their home. So they were very fortunate. So this could be avoided with VR and AR if we use it in schools. Actually, it's not really a new technology. We are already using it in cultural heritage. We are already using it in tourism. It's only to apply it in history. So basically, it's really easy to apply it in Western history of architecture. Why? Because the immersion of the student inside, it will be very perfect to stimulate the intellectual appetite for the student. So basically, that's all. It's only using this technology, which is which professional architects are already using in a course which is perceived as boring and useless. Here, for example, okay, we have the Taj Mahal in India, and within this, the student can use locomotion, can be a bird or can be some kind of a drone. And what are the learning outcome of this? So the student can understand the actuality, can understand the accessibility of the project, can understand the mass composition, can understand the harmony of the project with the environment, the pedestrian and car circulation, and of course the views. So this only while flying above the Taj Mahal project. This is impossible to do it in regular classroom. It's impossible to show it in PPTs, with PPTs. So I try to show it, but students, they cannot see it actually, they cannot. However, with VR, it will be much more easier to for the students, for the comprehension of all these principles of architecture. So in conclusion, actually, the VR and AR are really easy to use according to previous studies. It's really adaptable. Why? Adaptable to each student's learning pace. It's immersive, so it's feeling. It is feeling, so it means we can make history of architecture alive. We need to make it meaningful, which it means we have to make it some kind of a storytelling. And at the same time, we need to make it measurable, which we measure at the end the effectiveness of the use of this technology within school. So at the same time, we can use it as a group learning, and it enhances creativity of the students. And more important, actually, is we can use it for distance learning. And this could be a very good solution for what we are facing now about the, let's say, the international pandemic. And we are teaching from home. This could be perfect tool to teach students a boring class, make it much more interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the session. So, Professor Dr. Shabir, do you have any questions for him?
No, I don't have questions, but I have comment. I totally agree with Dr. Ben, and it's fantastic tool. And again, I am thinking about through this tool, we can reach to the remote areas. We can go to the people who have no means of traveling and seeing all these things. By showing this, we take virtually to every place, and we can teach them at the same level as we are teaching at big universities in the cities. So I totally agree with points mentioned by Dr. Ben. Good job, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So is there any other questions from the audience side? Yeah, I hope we don't have questions for Ben Gida. I would like to hand over the session to Prof.Surendheran regarding this. Thank you, Dr. Ben Gida, for this.
Thank you very much, Dinesh sir and Raja sir, for co-chairing the session, and of course the session chair, Dr. Shabir. Thank you so much for your patience, sir, and for being with us and patiently listening to all the presentations. And all the three presenters, you have done an amazing job, Ms. Suvanya and Dr. Dineshkumar and Dr. Ben. It was amazing to hear from you guys. So I think I'll take the permission of Professor Dinesh sir to let our Dean sir is here now. So I would like to invite our Dean, Dr. Saleem sir, to say a few words of thanks for Dr. Shabir sir's contribution today in our conference. Please, sir. Using mute, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Shabir, for joining us today. It was a very wonderful, very informative session. We had your background, being a medical doctor, has given a very different perspective to the to this conference, and it was very informative. And we thank you very much for being with us. And we have to have, we hope to have many more interactions with you in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was my pleasure, and definitely I'm looking forward the way we can work in future, because now it's getting more and more important because of all this COVID stuff. So we need to learn how we can survive, how you can educate, how we can deliver healthcare in post-COVID era. So it's like restart for all our lives.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Shabir. And open information to all the participants who are present here and the dignitaries. I do believe that we actually received a lot of questions right after Dr. Shabir's amazing presentation, but unfortunately we were unable to fit everything because we are actually having a schedule which is very tight. I'm going to just mention the names of the people who have asked the question, and I will try to forward this to the keynote speakers, and whenever we can able to get the reply, I take personal responsibility to disperse the answers to the concerned persons. Daniel Sundaraj, Madan Rajamani, and Gopinath Devaraj, Saravanan S, Praveen CK. Yeah, so these are a few people who have questions have not been pushed through, and I do
Please send
apologize.
me email. I will be replying them. No issues.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and yeah, so all these people's names which I have mentioned now, we will make sure that you will get your reply. Thanks very much for your questions. And Dr. Shabir sir, it was amazing having you in our conference.
I am also equally delighted to be with you guys. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, so of course, thank you, sir. So the information, again, throughout the session who are present here, thank you all the participants for your patience. So now, as per the schedule, you might have received already that we supposed to have a 5-minute break, but since we are actually overlapping the schedule, we're gonna push through straight away to our next session. Our keynote speaker, the eminent speaker, Dr. Sriram, have already joined us. So I'm gonna just give a very quick introduction about Dr. Sriram, and we will actually straight away take the session over. So Dr. Sriram do have a amazing blend of industrial and teaching experience of more than 13 years. So you have a passion towards writing books, and you have actually break through a lot of records in doing so. So it's not just about writing a couple of books, basically. You have done his master's and PhD in embedded systems, and he's one of the winner of Harvard University's Hack Harvard Global 2019 World Hack Session in 2019. So he's also been selected as one of the member of Intel IoT Advisory Board, which is running across international level. And he's also a selected member of IoT Innovator Awards for 2 consecutive years of 2018 and 2019. And he have actually delivered a lot of international workshops and talks about top-notch conferences and summits. In fact, as I mentioned before, he even hold a world record of publishing books with his sister. And also he have Limca book records of publishing a lot of books in 2015 and up and running. So I believe, Sriram said, there is no one else have actually broke through your record, it seems, so far. And yeah, he also have an entry in the Book of Records in India for National Record and Appreciation in 2017. So he's also an eminent reviewer in the top-notch journals like Elsevier, Wiley, and InterScience, and so on and so forth. So the thing is, to be very honest with, as I said, since we are running fast, if I'm gonna sit and just give all the information about Dr. Sriram, I think I will finish talking and give me leave. So let's not do that. So thank you very much, Dr. Sriram. I know you guys are busy. So the floor is yours. Please, sir, over to you.
Right. First of all, good morning, everybody. And thank you very much, Surendher, for the wonderful intro. And I thank everybody out there who gave me this opportunity. And I'm really happy to be back with V8. I was an employee of V8 some time back, and it's a very pleasure situation for me to come back again to deliver a lecture. And this is really cool for me, and I'm pretty happy about it. So let me get into the session right away. And for all the participants, let me first make one thing clear. Augmented reality and virtual reality is not a computer science content. It is a content for everybody, right? Let us understand that I am not a computer science engineer. I am an instrumentation engineer. I have got no programming knowledge till the time I went to industry. So it was such a pathetic state that I was in when I started my industry career. Fortunately, I could somehow make up, and I'm doing all this stuff. So it is very easy. And if you have an apprehension about getting into the AR/VR sector, just because it has got programming content into it, forget it. It is not tough. It is easy. If it is tough, I would not have entered there. That's the way I can tell you that. It's pretty easy, and it's a cakewalk. In fact, first few days you will probably have trouble, but then you will understand, and you can start doing things on your own. So what I'm going to do is I have a PPT, but I don't think I should go ahead with the traditional PPT way of doing it. Instead, I'm going to tell you the situations which we started working on it, and I'll show you the demos that we have built. I'm going to show you the demos, all what we have built, and it's going to be pretty interactive and interesting. First thing that I need to tell you is I started this augmented reality and virtual reality stuff on a very funny note. I'm a faculty advisor for about 15 students. As every teacher out here must do that role ceremoniously, I have done that role as well. And one of the students in 2014, he failed in 5 subjects out of 5 subjects. Right, just 5 subjects were there, and he was all out. So I had to mentor him, and I really do not know how to mentor a person who is technically very talented but cannot present things in the paper. So I took him for a movie. I wanted to really get him some comfort. I took him for a movie, and the movie was Iron Man. Iron Man 2 got released then. So I went to the movie, and after seeing the movie, I told him that, beta, see, life is all easy. You can pass all these dialects, traditional teacher dialects I had to give, and I gave all those. And by the time we finished the dinner, he asked me a question. Sir, can we do what Iron Man is doing? I asked him, what? Can we do what Iron Man is doing in the movie? I told him, you are depressed right now. Let's not talk about it anymore. We'll discuss tomorrow. He came the next morning, and it was the start of my innovative path in AR VR. So why I'm telling you this is, spark can come from anybody. Spark can start from anybody. And that was the student who had 5 arrears. I did not believe him in the first shot, but next day morning when he came, and when he told that, sir, these are all the things that I've collected about the research on augmented reality and virtual reality. Till then, I did not know the term called as AR VR. I'm telling you, 2014 May, till then I did not know that. So he then visualized clearly what is AR, what is VR. By then in India, even virtual reality was not out in the market. Even virtual reality headsets were not available. So we then started analyzing what was said. Then we started building our smallest projects. Our first product that we built was a virtual piano, right? So I need to scan a QR code. The QR code will bring a virtual piano in front of you. You can play it and you will hear music. This was done in 15 days. From the time we saw the movie, this project was completed. I call it a project, not a product. Just in 15 days, we were able to complete it. And we gained the confidence that we can do it, right? From then, we started moving and understanding what is AR, what is VR. Till then, it was all graphics for us. Whatever Iron Man does is all graphics. It was designed by a person and a team headed by a person called as John Underkoffler. He's the one who created Minority Report. The Minority Report is all about a movie which has got a lot of graphics and UI stuff. And I'll tell you the connect with John Underkoffler a little later. It will be very interesting for you to know that also. Now what happened is we started building projects, and one day we realized that we need something which is very closer for us to get a complete immersive feel for virtual reality. Then we started thinking of headsets. When you talk about headset, when you talk about virtual reality, you are completely away from all what is happening naturally outside. So you are kind of blind, and you are kind of completely focused and shut down into the helmet structure. If I give you a helmet or if I give you a headset, you cannot see anything outside. I'm like this. It's like a horse running in the straight road with the clamp on. So we wanted to break that, and we wanted to create something very innovative with the same headset. I'm very proud to tell you that the same person who proposed this idea of starting with AR VR started a company, and I'm a mentor for the company now. And we are the first in the world to build augmented reality headset. We are the first. We hold a patent for it, and we did it. I'll tell you the story, and I'll show you the way we built it. It was a very simple innovation that we started doing, and nowadays we are very lucky actually. When we started our engineering, probably Dean sir would be realizing it. They might not have had something called as Google, so they are the real people who must have used library. We had Google, but it was very slow, so Google was no lucky for us. But now people are so lucky, and everything comes out here. So I have got 3 cameras in my phone here. In some time, there will be only cameras in the background, and there will be nothing else. So that's the way the innovation is going on. And the camera structure, the camera accuracy is 112 megapixel, 108 megapixels are all coming. For me to buy a camera, I had to beg my father for 5 years, and then he got me that. So now it is not the case. You get a mobile, you get everything in. So the point is simple. We wanted to use this as much as we can because this is going to change the way things are working. We used this phone and we created our own 3D model of the headset. We built our own headset and we kept the phone inside. Now we can see whatever, you can see that I can see like this and it's very close. Now it is virtual reality, but augmented reality needs interaction. Augmented reality needs to show you what is happening in the outside world. So what we did is, these cameras are there, right? These cameras are the one which are going to act as my eyes. They are going to show me what is happening outside while I need something else to take my input. So what do? We then started thinking of some sensors available in the market. By then there were no many sensors available. Only one sensor which was very good that time. Now there are few. A leap motion sensor was available. When we searched for leap motion sensor, the most interesting thing happened. There was a contest conducted by the same leap motion company in San Francisco. They asked for some innovative ideas and they were funding $25,000 plus $1 lakh as further investment. We were actually looking for some option. And when something comes in front of you like this, we were like totally waiting for it and we grabbed it. We were the only team from entire Asia to get through that contest by proposing the augmented reality headset. We were the only team. And we got $25,000 right on day one. I have never seen that much money in my life before that. I only heard of it. So they credited $25,000 to our account. And 3 months time frame, I was in San Francisco with my 2 children. One is a designer, one is the core AR guy, and I'm working with Android and UI part of it. So we stayed there for about 3 months, and it got extended further. And in 4.5 months time frame, we built the augmented reality headset. Now comes the point. The person whom we prayed as God, John Underkoffler, he was the judge for the final event. He came there. He owns a chartered flight. He has got a company called as Oblong Industries, which is #1 in the world for UI. That guy is too good and he's a genius. I stood next to him. It was like standing next to Sachin Tendulkar for me. Sachin Tendulkar is my biggest inspiration in everything that I do. And I stood next to this guy, and he appreciated our product, and we have got further investment, $1 lakh, and this company is now doing good. So what we did is, we then kept this phone. We interface the leap motion sensor with the phone, and the leap motion sensor will grab all your gestures. We used machine learning and techniques to understand the gesture, pull, punch, pinch, scroll, all these gestures we trained, and it all worked fine. But it were completely sleepless nights for about 3.5 months. And every day night we had to come from San Francisco to the place where we stayed called Fremont. In the last train. The last train is by 11:30, and when we get into the train, we will be like, we are going to be hacked today. That's the way it will be. We will be the only person other than the driver, and we had to really rush through, and that was a nice journey. So I'm going to show you that demo right now. What here I'm trying to tell you is, students are the best resource for us, actually. I strongly believe that personally. Whatever books I have authored has come from my mentor who has trained me, but whatever products I have done has come from my students who have given me these inputs. Yeah, I'm innovative, I accept that, but my students are more than innovative. They have a lot of ideas, and that ideas are to be picked, and you need to really work on it. And what we need is a little bit patience. All of us have it. We are teachers, we are born patient people. Let's have a little more concern for them. And some ideas are really sparkling. I'll refer you with some more ideas where you will understand how much innovative those products are. I'm going to show you the demo of the product right now. Now those 2 children are making a lot of money, and most importantly, their startup is working for Reliance Industries. They are working for Reliance Industries by building a product with augmented reality for their warehouse. Reliance Industries is building India's largest warehouse in Delhi, and they have a trouble in sorting out all the inventories in the warehouse. So now you need to wear our headset, walk into the warehouse. All what is available in the rack will be visible to you right in seconds through virtual reality and augmented reality. If I wear a headset and if you are wearing a headset, we can talk virtually. Like in the robot movie, Rajinikanth will talk to another Rajinikanth. We can do that. It's all real. So whatever happened there is graphics. Now we have made it real. So all this happened over a period of 3 years. It takes a lot of time. And I would like to stress this as well. Success won't come in one day. It takes time. It needs patience and perseverance. I learned this through the guys, and perseverance is one important thing that we all must have. And let's not look into AR, VR projects as projects. It has to be a product, because we have got a lot of room for developing it to the next level, and it's going to be the innovation hub. We will get everything out there. I'm going to show you 5 or 6 demos quickly so that you can understand with my minimal capacity, with my minimal system, whatever I have, with a minimal investment, we are able to do this. And if you are having something really innovative, I think your level that you can grow is going to be really big. It's above the sky limit actually. So I'm going to show you the first demo right now. I hope you will understand what we are doing through that demo. I'll also give the voiceover so that you can understand clearly how things work. And I need to tell you this. I forgot this actually when I started. It was in the flow. We must have seen the movies like Maya Bajar, all those kind of Mayajal movies, right? They are the real creative people. The hero will come and he will do something like this, and immediately there will be a heroine in front of me. He will do this, there will be a Pushpaga Vimanam, I mean the flight in front of him, and he will fly. They are the real innovative people. I'm in fact gaining a lot of inspiration out of those movies and to build something new. And I'll show you the first demo which we have built. And one very important thing that I would like to highlight here, if you have any questions about or any queries about what we do, and if you want any help in terms of building products, please do not hesitate and you can reach me out. I'll be able to help you. If I do not know, I can connect you to the right people because I've got a lot of people who are working with me from Intel. I'm an Intel innovator, so I get a lot of access to their tools as well. So I can connect you to the right people. And this is the best time that you can use for your PhD level research with augmented reality and virtual reality. Not many papers are there, not many innovations are there. You are the first. So whenever we are going first, we will be the best. So try it out, and I wish many people take up this challenge and to proceed further in the field of AR and VR. I hope you are seeing my screen right now. So I'm going to play it. You can see that this is the phone that I had then. It is a Nexus 3 phone. I'm connecting it, and you can see that there is a sensor here called as leap motion sensor that is going to grab all our gestures, and it has got 3 cameras inside, and the 3 cameras will take everything. And you can see the way the screen will be visible to you right now. I have got lenses there. All these are built by us internally at our 3D model system in US. So we can adjust the view. Now, when I launch it, you can see that this is the way the system gets launched. In the left-hand side, I'm moving my mouse pointer out here. You can see that there is an application here, and there is another application here. But you see whatever, the real world is also visible to you, right? Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to launch one of the applications. I launched my first application, and this is the Iron Man movie. Since we are inspired by Iron Man, the first application that we launched was Iron Man movie. That's the tribute that I wanted to pay him, though might not be really valuable for him. I did that. And you can see that my hand is moving here and there, and that's a gesture that is captured by the leap motion sensor. Now I am launching another application. While the parallel application is there, I launch another application here. And now the point is, you are still seeing the outside world without any interruption. You have kept something new inside it, which is a digital content, which is called augmented reality. And most important point is, I have now done 10 applications in front of me. I've got 10 applications. The first one is Gmail, second one is Facebook, third one is chess game, fourth one is cricket updates, fifth one is movies. Like this, I've got 10 applications. And only thing is, you need to just see there, drag and drop it. If you are bored with the first one, turn your head this side and drag and drop it. This will run and that will be passed. This is called a context switching. When I'm talking to you, if some higher authority comes to me, I'll stop talking to you and I'll have to talk to him. But I know what I have been talking to you and I'll retain the content there. But I'll talk to the higher authority, I'll respond to him politely and I'll come back to you. I'll continue from the place where I have left, right? This is like you playing game in the mobile. Same is the content that is happening here. I play game in the mobile. My father calls me, so I attend the call. The game is paused, not stopped. When you come back, the game will renew from the same place, will start resuming from the same place where it is stopped. We use the same fundamental operating system concept and we have built this. This is the first headset in the world which incorporated augmented reality concept. Now I'm going to show you some applications that we have built with this, and then you'll be able to understand how exactly this application can be taken further. And even I would like to hear from you if you have any perspectives of developing applications with this kind of headsets and stuff. I'll also tell you the negatives which are related to it. There are negatives. Any system when we innovate, negatives are connected to it. We cannot avoid it, but we are working on curtailing the negatives. I'll tell you what are those negatives, and I'll exactly seek your inputs also as in how do we counter it. I'm having a tough time in actually getting the negatives counter, and it's a challenging research right now, which we are doing. So I'm going to share the screen right now, and you can see that this is how it works. This is the way you can visualize things out here. Now you can see that this is the guy who asked me that question. He is wearing the headset, and I have launched a Sukai in front of you. This is a Sukai running. And the gesture control is given, and I can train with the different gestures. It's all pretty easy. And the car and the Sukai Ferrari I can never buy, but I can keep the Ferrari in my park through augmented reality. And that's what is happening right now in front of you. It's all through simple gestures. And what is needed here is we used a software called as Blender, and the Blender will help us to generate the 3D models. And with the 3D models, we are able to insert that into our software, and the interface happens from the leap motion sensor to our Android phone. And the best part is the Android support that we have given is really superb, because the Android users are more than iOS users. So I kept it a point, because this cannot be for the people just who are rich and who can afford to go with the iOS and the Android, I mean Apple phones. The minimum cost would be somewhere about 50,000 if you want to go with the minimal version even, but we wanted to do it for all the ones who have even the Android phone. That's why we made it very specific to Android. Now I'm going to go to the next one, which you will definitely like. And most of you will say yes to my perspective, I believe. How many of you are biology background in your +2? Maybe many of you would be biology backgrounds, right? It is very difficult for a biology teacher to teach in the class at that adolescent age, right? They cannot teach your human reproductive system in the class. It's very difficult. And if it is a lady teacher, you think of the situation, it's very difficult in the country that we live, like, because of the cultural restrictions. We cannot teach, we cannot accept also. Both are very difficult. Similarly, when you start teaching about the skeleton, when you start teaching about the brain, kidney, all those things to the school children, they never have a visualization of how it looks like. They only see the paper, they only see a page. And if you are giving them an option to hold a brain virtually, how it will look like, it'll be nice, right? I'm going to hold my brain, but it'll be all fun. I'm going to hold the spinal cord like this, it'll be all fun. I'm going to show you kidney, your own kidney can be made a 3D model, and you can hold it and you can see it's all fine. So that's what we have done. And now what we can do is the entire system, the human body, is now reproduced as a 3D model, and I have incorporated it into my system. And when we launch it, the body comes over there. So there is no point or no problem in teaching human reproductive system even. You can give a voiceover and the student will still listen that very clearly. We are expecting kids to write neat, but if you are not teaching them, they cannot write neat. So we need to teach them, but innovatively, at the same time effectively. It should not demotivate them or deviate them from the learning prospects. So I have done this, and I'll show you the way it has been done. This product is selected as one of the top 8 innovations in the VR by the year 2018 by Intel. So we have got only top 8 products listed out in the Intel VR Coder 2018 contest. And in India, it's very beautiful to see that about 8 products are only selected, out of which 4 are from India. That's the best thing. My competitors are from my own land, and that's the best thing that I can look at it. And now all of them are my friends. So start participating in the contest. That is the next perspective that I would like to clearly give you. We teachers just not are the mentors. We need to go to the contest and we need to participate. If you see my resume, it's not to tell that I am participating a lot of contests. It's to tell you that you must do and you must try. So don't take it otherwise, please. I'm younger than most of you. I have just started losing my hair, so I think I need some more time to become old. Please start participating in the contests. And there are so many contests that are conducted by the corporates. I'm talking about corporates, not just the contests that are conducted for local university related stuff. You need to go to corporate contests. You will lose a couple of times, but when you see the way people are working next to you, sitting 24/7 on a particular focused concept, you will automatically do it. That is our human brain tendency. I started doing that. First few contests I lost. I'll tell you, I have participated till date in 102 contests, 102 national and international hackathons. I have lost 17. 17 is what I have lost. The 17 were the first 17, finished. That is the way we have tried. But that 17, when you lose, you should not lose your focus. I learned every time, even now when I participate, I learn each and every time. There is definitely some learning. You get a lot of context. Now in this modern world, you are just not a teacher for your university. You are a teacher for everybody, and you need to learn from everybody. That's the way things are going. Start interacting. There is a website called hackerearth.com. I'm going to type it in the comment section. See for contests there. I'll type it here so that it will be beneficial for everybody. Hackerearth.com. hackerrank.com. All these websites are there, and from there only I get a lot of details. I'm not grasping it from anywhere else. So please go there and see out this information, and one fine day you'll start winning. The day is not too far. Only thing is you need to try out, right? We are not trying. If we try, we will be doing it. I'll answer all the questions that are being posted in the comment section. Mr. Daniel Sundarraj, I'll answer it. Just give me some more time because I need to go in the flow and complete it. Please type the questions there. I'll certainly give you an answer. Now I'll go to the next product. As I told you, biology teaching is problematic, and I'm going to show you the demo that we have built. And this product is now getting into the next level. I'll tell you next level in the sense, this is having a lot of interactive features like I can share the demo that I like with another student. I can get the feedback. I can give the star ratings. All these are now possible. And I am going to share the screen with you right now. So I have just dragged and dropped. You've got the human brain in front of you. Now my son does it actually quite frequently. He rolls the human brain, he scrolls it up and down, and he plays it around. So they don't get a fear. Instead, they get a clear perspective about what is it. Now you can see the skeleton. I can roll the skeleton. This is not possible otherwise. So I can now pull out the spinal cord alone, though not in a violence way. You can pull it out and you can start seeing. You can reassemble all of them. They can become a doctor virtually, and the teachers can give them a game. I'm telling you, the teachers can give them a game by disassembling all these components and then to assemble them back in order. Whomever does it in a faster duration accurately can become a doctor. You can call them a doctor boy of the class. So all these are possible. The possibilities are really infinite, and this is one of the examples that I wanted to show you. Now the next thing is very close to my heart. I'll show you. I have a teacher whom I love very much by name Dr. Murugesh. He is from Annamalai University, right? He used to teach us very complex subjects, very complex subjects, in fact. Instrumentation is all about control system and process control. And if there is no good teacher, probably it cannot be understood well. He taught us so many subjects, 7 subjects entirely in the entire tenure of 4 years he taught us. And all the 7 subjects I got S grade just because of him. It is not my knowledge. It is the way he taught me. So I always used to recollect what he taught, and I will only write that. Not only me, the entire section of 80 did it. And his subject is so special for us. First time what we will do, we will see the timetable when it is displayed. If we see the name TSM, I'll opt for that subject. That's all. I'll not even think which subject it is. That's the way teachers have created us. And one good thing that I grasp from is the way he presents himself in the class, and most importantly, the way he goes into the brain of students when he recollects the subject back at home, which means the teacher goes home with every student virtually. That's the plan that I wanted to implement, and this is all because of that great man who taught me. That's the idea. He gave me the idea unintentionally or intentionally that I picked it up. Now I'll show you something. The teachers, if they can go to home of every student, sometimes that students may shut down the door. That's a different story. But if you go to their home and if you can teach them really the next time also, the third time also through a virtual reality environment, how it will look like, it will be nice, right? That's what we have done. Now I'll give you a paper. We all give notes. We all give PPT these days, right? Each page of the PPT will definitely have a picture. There will be a diagram. Now the student has to just scan the diagram. He has to just scan. That's all. That day's lecture will come there and the teacher will teach virtually. That's it. It's very simple. I can now take the paper, I can scan it, I can walk everywhere. It will come along with you. When I'm coming in the bus, people travel normally, right? And kids are traveling for a longer distance in the places like Chennai. It's almost 2 hours. They take time to travel. So I can just scan it and the people can use the time very interactively. And it's going to be a complete lecture, voiceover, video, demo, everything is there. We tried it out and this is very easy. And the only thing that teacher has to do is he has to record the class and put it into the system that we have the video repository stored with. That's it. I'm going to show you the demo right now. I'm working on it in a further level where you'll clearly understand how exactly it will work also. I'll talk about it. Now I'm playing the video. You can see that. I'm just scanning it.
Networking is the word people use when they're talking about connecting computers together so they can share data with each other and all connect to the internet at the same time. Let's take a closer look at the key components that make up a simple, easy to set up network. Think of a network as something similar to your body's central nervous system. At the top of the network is a brain that handles all the traffic.
Now you can see that I'm lifting the paper, I'm moving, I can walk, I can share this content with anybody, but only thing is, only you will see that, rest of them will not be able to see it. So people
Sir, we can't see your videos.
Yeah, it's not shared, Sriram.
One second, I'll try to do that again. Just forgive me, 1 second. Let me know if you are seeing it now, okay? Just 1 second. I'll share it now, just wait. I'm sorry, it's a technical minor glitch. And this is why we should go with augmented reality. Can you see the screen now?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
visible? This is
Yes.
my house. So you can see that right now. I am scanning with my app and immediately the video got loaded.
Networking is the word people use when they're talking about connecting computers together so they
That's
can
it.
share data with each other and all connect to the internet at the same time. Let's take a closer look at the key components that make up a simple,
I'm
easy to
lifting
set
the
up
paper right
network.
now.
Think of a network.
I can walk with the paper. I can do whatever I want and only it will be visible to you. If you have a headset will show you all this, but otherwise you can just scan it with your mobile. So this is available in Android right now. That's pretty easy. But only thing is, as I told you already, others will not know what you are seeing. So they may think that if you are laughing or if you are reacting further, others may think that you have gone mad. That's the only problem. Virtual reality and augmented reality has got that issue. We will start talking to ourselves and we'll be very intuitive, and it's a very intuitive system which will make you interact. And at that time, you got to be really careful. And I myself got addicted to this couple of times, and people will ask me, what are you doing? When I travel in bus or flight on a longer distance, I have my VR system enabled. So I used to laugh, and the neighbor will see me like, why, where is this guy from? Is he from Mars? That's the way he will look at me. We got to be careful about it. Now, I'll tell you something more which will be of greater interest to the teachers here. Um, we are now building an app literally with augmented reality. You need to just scan the question paper, okay? Mathematics question. I am scared of mathematics normally. So I need to just scan the paper and immediately you'll get the answer key for the mathematics question. That's it. You will get the mathematics answer key available in seconds. And that's done through augmented reality, and you'll get the answers one after another floating in the app. I'll show you the demo once it is ready. We have got a partial demo ready and it's working fine, but it is available now at the 10th standard level because I did not do it at engineering level. I know it's a bit difficult for us right now. Now you need to just scan it and that's it. You get everything out there. It's pretty easy for you. And they should not be given to children because they can scan it and they can get 100 out of 100. That's the only thing we got to be careful about. So I'm going to show you one more thing that will be very interesting for you, I believe. If you see that in places like VIT Vellore, the place I worked, it's a very vast university, right? It's a very big university. And when you come in for the first time, you'll literally go confused about which block is yours. There are multiple blocks, and from the time you enter from the building till SJT, I believe the name is right, Silver Jubilee Tower, the last building where they have cricket ground. And till then, if you walk, I think you will burn 1,000 calories. It's so big a building. And we are not able to identify which building is where. And if I'm a new entrant, I'll find it very difficult, right? So what we did is we built an app, very simple Android app with augmented reality. I need to just show my app like this, and I need to start walking into the university. I launch the app the moment I get into the university. It will show me all the buildings with the name of the building and the distance that you need to travel to cover that space, all real time. So you need not ask anybody, you need not stop anybody, and you will go to the exact destination without any delay. I did it for my we are conducting a annual event here called as Anoka. So our university is 450 acres big university. So they had a lot of difficulty in reaching the right place. So there was a huge problem. Then I said that okay, we'll do it. It's going to be an app. The moment you come, you need to scan. App will be downloaded, and that's it. Nobody needs to help them, and it's all pretty easy. I'm going to show you the demo right now. This can be implemented at every place, including the temples, the mosques, wherever you go, whichever place you go. If you want any assistance there, we can use it. And I hope you're seeing the screen right now, and I'm going to play it. That's it. It's very easy. The main block is 575 meters. The MBA block is 244 meters. And all these are updated real time. And I just used GPS coordinates to get this done. This is about 10 meters accurate. I mean, there will be a 10 meters difference here and there. That's because of normal GPS issue that we have. And what we are doing now is I'm working on something which is very interesting towards tourism, because our tourism generates us a lot of revenue. And most importantly, many of our temples, for example, I'm from Tanjavur, so I'm staying pretty close to the Bragdishwara temple, which is an architectural marvel. Every time when people come there, they have a lot of questions. When a new visitor comes, for example, a foreigner comes out from there, for example, he comes from Germany or Italy or wherever, there is nobody to explain him what is the status of this particular temple, how long before it was built. They cannot read the Tamil writings that they have in the university. I mean, that they have in the temple. They cannot also spare time there because it is already crowded. And what are we doing now is we are building an app, and it is very specific to all these kind of places: a temple, a mosque, a church, a museum. When I go there, I'll have to scan the QR code. You will get the app downloaded, and the app will direct you. Just start using that. You'll get into the first place. There will be a character like Sachin Tendulkar, whom he will pop up and he'll say, "Hey guys, stay here. This is a very important place. See this." That's it. He will tell you what is the history of that particular venue. I'm getting into the Nandi of Tanjore temple. He'll tell you that this Nandi is built on this particular year. It is a single stone Nandi. You know how it is built. All this history. So these people will learn more about that place, and most importantly, they appreciate and they know the history. This is what is being built. Most of the museums that I have seen in Tanjore, for example, there is a palace which most of you might not have visited. Nobody knows that there is a palace. And if you go in, you will get the complete history of Tamil. They have got so many things there and nobody is there to explain. That was the inspiration. So I'm building an app right now. You just go scan. Nobody needs to explain you. You can explain 10 people later. And you can give feedback. If there is a wrong information, give a negative smiley. Real time. So I'll be able to show you that shortly. I'm working on a project which can be launched at a bigger scale, and this should be probably helping a lot of people. There's a did not win it. We were in top 5. It was for JLL. There is a company called as JLL. Try to Google it out. It's #1 company in real estate business in US. They have a branch in India, in Bangalore, and they wanted some innovations in virtual reality. We wanted to show them that virtual reality is the best way to demonstrate what you want to build to the customers. You are building a flat or you are building a house. I don't think you should go with traditional animation. Instead, you should give them a virtual reality feel where just give them the headset and start asking them to walk on the, I'll show you the demo. I do not have a treadmill here. What we proposed is, we demonstrated is, we gave a treadmill to the customer, and the treadmill should be used, and the treadmill will start making you walk, and you'll have the headset. It will be like you walking into the house like this, step by step, and every step will be very innovative, and I'm going to show you the demo. We have made minute granules even replicated as exactly as it has to be. You'll really appreciate this, and I hope you will like the way it has been constructed. All these can be used at multiple options, and I wish if you have some opinion on it, you can let me know. We will try to incorporate that as well. And one thing that I want to tell you is, if you want to see all this further also, let me know. I'll share you my links. You can go ahead and see it later. Now I'm going to play that. You can see the screen. This is the villa that we designed for just demonstration purpose, and I hope you definitely like it. Of our system that we have built with virtual reality. Surya Builders is shown right in the entry for the visitor, the likely customer who is visiting our community. This is a gated community, and you can see the way we have designed the compound walls. The bricks are also designed so nicely and so realistic. Now the walking tracks are shown for you. All these are very good, very realistic, and the customer would certainly like to walk in this virtual reality experience. Now we are giving you the view of the entire gated community right here, which is being shown in front of you. All the villas are designed similarly because to get the feel of the gated community. We are showing you the tennis court right now, and now we are taking you through the basketball court. See the way we have designed the compound walls for this basketball and tennis ball court. It is all very nicely designed, and care has been taken that it looks very good and realistic. Now we are collecting the granules and the sand particles for making sure that this pavement even looks as realistic as it has to be. Now we are showing you the lawns where chairs are designed, and this will give the customer the complete understanding of how big and how good the lawns would be. From the lawns, the view of the entire community is also presented, along with even the car parking. Now you get the complete 360-degree view of the community that we have designed. The chairs, including the nuts and bolts in the chairs, have been taken care of because to give the customer the 100% feel about the real property. Now we are getting you through the community hall where we have play area for the children also, and including all the play equipment there, we are displaying it right now. We can even have children there along with some notice boards if you want us to keep so. Now, the time has come for the customer to visit our house. We have designed a house and we are going to take you through the house step by step. It starts with the hall and it ends with the terrace. We have designed each and everything in the house very carefully and artistically. You will feel it right now. The entrance is here and you can see the hall with the sofa along with lights in the top. We have got the dining table. The customer will walk on the treadmill and he'll feel like walking into the home. That's the way we can innovate. And you can think of some other ideas also. We quickly could demonstrate it with the treadmill and they liked it. And next step is we are getting you through the hall where we have kept the fridge, and now it is kitchen where we've got the stoves available for you along with wash basin. All these are designed realistically, and the colors of the wall, the equipment or the components over there can also be changed based on the requirement. Along with the hanger, we have designed it, and the wall color can also be changed. Now we are taking you through the steps, and this leads you to the master bedroom. The master bedroom is designed right here, and including the night lamps we have designed it, we can even switch it off to show how exactly it looks during the night. Now the master bedroom's bathroom is shown right now in front of you. We are taking you out of this master bedroom to the secondary bedroom right now, where you can see the bed color, the blanket color, everything is differently presented here. We can change it as per the requirement. Now we are presenting you the balcony view, where the customer will get a complete feel and look of how it looks like from the balcony. We are walking back right now, and we are heading to the hall where we have sofas, and there is a view through the glass door which is presented right now in front of you. And now we are taking you back to the next level. Now you can see that we have stairs, and we can give the feel to the customer with even the stair climbing noise or volume there as well. Now we have shown you the terrace where we have even the Tata Sky dish over there. So all these are very realistic, and we hope the customers like it as well as get a complete immersive experience about our property. I hope it was interesting and you liked it. It took about 3 days for us to completely design this. And this is a copy of a villa system that is available near my home. I just went there, took about 100 photos. And when we came back, we had to design it all together. Only thing that we need to be is little creative. Yeah, the granules and all, if you see the sand particles and all, it took a lot of time for us to get it reproduced like that. But once you do it, you'll get an immense satisfaction. That's what I had when I presented it there. One final demo before I close my session. I hope I did not bore you much. And I'm going to go with one final demo where I recently participated in one of the events where they asked us to use augmented reality for the payment interfaces. I mean, our UPI interface is there, right? Government of India has given us the UPI, and we can make payment through Google Pay, Paysa, all those things are there, right? So they asked us, how do we incorporate augmented reality into it? So what I did is very simple. The major problem that we have is when we go to a shop, we see a lot of advertisements there. Google Pay, Amazon Pay, multiple are there. Which one do you select? That's a major constraint, right? We do not know which one has got better offers. If there is an app which pops up and tells you that you go with Google Pay for this purchase, you will get 10 rupees back. You go with Amazon Pay for this, you'll get 15 rupees back. And this has to be through augmented reality. That's what we have built, and it's available online shortly for you to download as well. And I'm going to share the screen with you to show that final demo. And I named it in Tamil called Thervu. Thervu means selection. So,
hi, we are Team Hacksters, and this is our product, Thervu. Now, before I begin, I would like to start with a small quote. Desires dictate priorities, priorities shape our choices, and choices determine our actions. As a customer, I believe that one of my fundamental privileges is the privilege to choose. And it is our belief that this privilege is not being exercised to its fullest potential within the current UPI ecosystem. So that's how we built Thervu, an intelligent AR-powered gateway for UPI applications. So as you can see, this is our minimalist dashboard. We've got 3 sections contributing to the PM CARES Fund for the coronavirus. We've got the section where you can pay for various services through the use of UPI. Also, we've got our main showstopper, the augmented reality based QR code scanner. So let me delve into the technological aspects of the demo. So every time you visit any shop or any retail store for that matter, the amount of QR codes, the amount of offers that are available, all the jargon involved, honestly, it is quite overwhelming. That's why we've developed a simple system wherein all you have to do is scan a simple QR code. System itself suggests you the optimal offers available. For example, let's see from the demo, you can see that I'm going to scan a QR code, and there it is. You've got offers from Paytm, from Amazon Pay, from Google Pay. So all you have to do is select your favorite offer, and then automatically an intent is created and the respective application is opened. Another thing that I like to point out is that the system is smart enough to suggest you which of the offers will be more profitable to you. For example, for the current QR code, there might be close to 8 or 9 offers. System itself suggests the optimal 3 or the optimal 4 offers based on your past shopping history or your past experience with that app. So now I'm going to select Paytm as my app. You want to click on Paytm, clicking on it. So as you can see, immediately an intent is popped, and then it asks me if I want to open the app with Paytm. I say yes. The app opens and the normal UPI interface is back. So all you have to do is enter an amount and then proceed, and then the transaction proceeds normally. So now that we've discussed the main showstopper of the app, let me dive a little more into other details of the app. So most of the UPI apps these days provide a provision to pay for services like DTH or mobile.
That's the part that talks about the augmented reality content for purchase. So what I tried to do is I tried to give you a perspective of the possibilities which are really infinite. When it started from the simple system where we built a headset, and then I moved on to education, I moved on to the travel, travel and stuff. I moved on to then to real estate, and finally I ended up with the payment system. It is really not sufficient for us to stop there. We have got a lot of options. And the only thing is you got to be little innovative, and you can do a little better job than me also, provided you work a little harder. Any help, any suggestions, any input, you can reach me through the email ID that I have given you. I'll be more than happy to help you. And I thank everybody out from VIT who has given me this option to see you all back again after such a long time. It's about 10 years I came out from there, and it's pretty happy to see you all. And that too in this kind of platform. I'll quickly answer some of the questions that are asked in the chat box so that they can gain something out of it. Is it possible for an ordinary person to use your technology without any additional resources? Yes, I am an ordinary person. I have only ordinary equipment. All these can be used by anybody. And only thing you need to have is a camera. I think we have got abundant cameras right now with our phone. You can use it, no problem. And it's going to be all Android apps for you guys. So it's easy. Next question, I'm scrolling quickly. Sir, what are the special requirements for an user to use the VR technology? Yes, nowadays all the phones that you get, for example, if you go with the Asus Zenfone, if you go with MI, if you go with OnePlus, they all come with VR AR support inbuilt. So there is nothing specific that you need to really buy right now or install right now. They by default have got VR support, and there is no problem at all. But when we started doing it, it was not there. That's the reason I had to go with additional sensors. Nowadays, you can do it without sensors also. Is it possible to show the real video instead of artificial video in this app? Yeah, you can show. Anything can be done. It's possible. I told you, right? Possibilities are infinite. The only thing is, when you start doing this, please keep in mind that this has to give you a real good feel of handling the original stuff. It should be similar to the original stuff. So for that, you need to have a real good 3D design capacity. And with that, I think you can replicate and do it better. And the next question, that's all I think. Is it possible to show? I answered that question. What is the minimum fund required to set up the startup? Tough question. What kind of startup are you going to do? That depends on that particular answer. But minimum fund is at least 10 lakhs. Without 10 lakhs, I don't think you can even plan for a startup right now. But if you have a great idea, I think nowadays getting fund is not difficult. I have myself set up 2 startups right now, and the third one is on the way. It's pretty easy for you to get fund. The angel investors are available, and VIT I know has got a very active TBI. So you've got VTB, I think, if I'm right in the way I pronounce it. You've got TBIs which can be used for promoting your products. All those are available. Funding is not a problem, guys. If you have a real good idea, curate it. It should not be available somewhere else. That's the only thing that you need to be careful about it. Because someone else is already having, if you do it, people will have a choice and they will obviously go with the one which is well established. Have some particular intellectual property embedded to it. That should be in terms of algorithms, in terms of something which cannot be reproduced by somebody else easily. That's the part that you need to be careful with. Many startups are there, they start and they vanish. Yours should not vanish. You should really make sure that yours stay for a long time. And I answered all the questions, and thank you very much. And I leave it to Surendheran.
Okay, so that was one amazing presentation, Dr. Sriram. It was really nice. We actually get to see a lot of information that you've been doing, and you've been doing a lot of innovative works. And thank you so much for sharing your work with us.
Thanks.
And just 1 second, sir. Prabhakar Rao, just to wait for a while, sir. Just 1 second. Okay. Okay. So Sriram, thank you. And again, thank you so much for actually reading the question by yourself and answering it. And we are actually.
No, I know you are doing it for a long time from morning, so I wanted to help you a little bit.
That's a nice touch. But anyway, and also we have witnessed all your innovations, and also we have seen that your house is really clean. All right.
Thanks to my
Okay.
wife.
So, all right, sir. Just one more favor. All right. So you're gonna be acting as a chairperson for the upcoming 3 presentations, Dr. Sriram. Hope you don't mind.
Sure. My pleasure.
Yes, and myself will be the session co-chair for that. And I'm going to ask Professor Surendheran as well to join me for the session co-chair. Okay, so now the first presentation, he's ready now. He's Dr. Prabhakar Rao, and we are going to invite him to present his paper on titled Groupware and Virtual Reality for Farmer Collaboration and Communication through Haptic Devices.
Nice
so
paper.
The floor is yours, Prabhakar Rao, sir.
All the best, Dr. Prabhakar.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir. You can go on. So do you seek any help, Dr. Prabhakar Rao? Hello? Okay. Do we have Miss Bhavana here ready with us? Miss Bhavana Srinivasan? Okay, ma'am, can you please mute your, oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay,
yes, sir.
Ma'am, you ready with your presentation, ma'am?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So Prabhakar Rao said, just 1 second. Okay, you started. All right. Sorry about that, Bhavana, ma'am.
It's okay, no issues.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon to one. Sir, my voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello?
sir. It's audible, sir. You can go ahead with the
Okay, friends. Groupware and virtual reality for culture education and farming collaboration through haptic devices. So myself, Dr. BVNSS Prabhakar Rao, I'm working in Chennai campus. So today, just Dr. Sriram sir mentioned clearly about augmented reality and virtual reality. In the same way, I would like to proceed. So what exactly the intention behind this and how with respect to the students or forming students. So my topic is introduction to as well as virtual reality in the agriculture education field. And what is virtual reality? Because
excuse me, sir. Your voice is not audible,
is
sir.
race talking about agriculture. In this context, what is the need of reality? Next one. And what kind of system architecture we are having, and what about the need collaboration and this amazing presentation given by Dr. Sriram sir. He given about some very creative enters and complete VR virtual reality. So my framework also, it's not but they are implemented everything there, but it's a proposed system. Name what is
Dr. Prabhakar sir. So it seems like you're using a smartphone and it's not audible, and also it's kind of bad signal at your area, it seems. Can you hear us? Okay, sir, I'm gonna swap a few changes here. Okay, Bhavana ma'am, so I'm gonna make you a co-host. So go ahead with the presentation, ma'am, and we will get back with Prabhakar Rao sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir.
Sir, just hold on a second, sir. Could you please find an area where you can able to get good signal, sir? Just 1 second. Hello. All right. So I'm gonna just make you co-host. Okay, Bhavana ma'am, you are a co-host now. You can go ahead with the sharing.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank you, everyone, all the dignities and VITs. They have made a good platforms. They gave an opportunity to present my paper. I will share my screen. Sure. So I'm Bhavna Srinivasan. I'm the EPT Research Scholars in VIT. My research guide, Dr. V. Lakshmi, under her supervision, have made these papers. My topic is the impact of augmented reality application on higher education students using the ARCS model of learning motivation. It is completely a secondary paper. It's based on review papers. I have gone through a lot of research papers. Then based on that, I made this paper. Today, this technology takes over education in the 21st century, is whether it's be a training program in universities or colleges or real-world teaching training, but still it is abstract in school educations. Research in AR in India, it is in the early stage, and its effects and implications of AR education sectors, it's lagging. The objectives of my research. This research paper is to measure and understand the impact of an augmented reality mobile applications on learning motivation of higher education's undergraduate students at the school and university level. Then the study primarily focuses on the effects of augmented reality technologies on motivations for students learning with the help of understanding the concept of ARCS model. In context to that education, the fundamentals motivation theory is applied to enhance motivation. It states that attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction ARCS model. This model guided the understanding the students' motivation effects on using augmented reality. The present study, it's compared the effectiveness of augmented reality using the smartphone applications. So in augmented reality and education, it's relatively new technology for years. It has been used in the area of education, but still there is a little questions that is adoption. It's still the space, especially in higher secondary schools and all. So there is even a long way to go into the classroom to exploit this technology, but there are already numerous ways to integrate the augmented reality into educations. Augmented reality in education, many studies provides that more personal and interactive atmosphere which draws the students' attentions, and it facilitates the participation through interactive. They will get, while they're interacting, they're using the augmented reality application, the students feel like the life experience as well as they are having a lot of interactions. So this breaks the traditional class monotony, and because for the use of AR technology offering the learning motivations. Its AR educational importance is closely correlated with the way it is built and applied and incorporated the formal and informal learning environments. It means that after the school hours also, they can learn the subjects in the interactive way. They are using the application, they are understanding the concept. Since it is a 3D model, they can interact in depth of knowledge they can get. So there is a challenges with the use of augmented reality in educations. The AR technology user have experienced usability issues and technical issues. Some students may find the technology complicated, but there is no research to conclude that usability problems are specifically linked to the AR technology and could also derive from poor technological knowledge, failure in the system design, operational concern, or pessimistic attitudes. Some studies reports that the AR decrease cognitive load, while other studies reports that cognitive is overload. So schools may impose their instruction restrictions of the use of AR technology, especially like in Tamil Nadu. The educators may be hesitant to use an AR because this technology also demands creative teaching methods to be applied. So it's like CBSE international schools, they started implemented this kind of AR technology. Sometimes the material accessible via AR frameworks is inflexible, limiting the teacher's influence over the curriculum and preventing the modifications from fitting the students' needs. While I going through the research papers which is relevant to the AR educations, so many of the research are focused on only the medical science and then the science subjects, the human anatomy likewise. It is not like only few studies, it's they're done on geography, geology. It is not, it's that also it's in an international universities, then abroad they made a studies under this. So there is a lot of limitation is that the textbook, they are not converting the entire textbook into the AR methodology. It's only the what are the models, what are the topics. It's very tough for the students to understanding that particular things they are converting into the AR model applications. It's help for the students for the learning. The results as of shows. Augmented reality and motivation theory AUX model. It's how the augmented reality it's related to the AUX model of theory motivations. Of course, the augmented reality, it brings the attention of the students while they're using the augmented reality. Many studies shows that the students started using the augmented reality, they experience into the new technology, new tool. Ultimately, it will bring the attention of the students, as well as what are that reading in the textbooks is the normal mode. It's converted into 3D, the live is connected with the real environment with the virtual thing. So they can operate as Sriram has shown a lot of examples. They can turn, they can do the multiple things, they can learn in depth. So there is a lot of relevance to what is there in the subject is there in the content. So ultimately the attention goes to the relevance to the content, their understanding the subjects. So understanding of that, they have students have the have the confidence of this particular subjects. Ultimately, end of this, using the augmented reality, the students they get the satisfactions, the completely the understanding the total use of using the augmented reality. The students they feel so confident about the particular content. So it leads to the motivational theory of this augmented reality and motivational theory. But as sir, Dr. Saleem said, still it is in India, it is the early stage in the augmented reality, especially in application which is relevant to the education content oriented. So a lot of research has to be go further. Augmented reality, these are the studies shows that AR in science learning can directly improve students' motivation. The increased motivation of the students can be attributed in large part of the elements of curiosity, fantasy, and control present using AR technology. So while they're using especially in science subject, medical science, medical field, and they are the students, they're feeling it's quite very interesting to learn the subjects. It's easy for them understanding. So majority of the studies we have gone through all the research papers, mainly they're concentrating on science subjects oriented. And then this augmented reality and motivation theory, it's a few subjects I found a few studies are there which is relevant to the architectural department as well as engineering based. Now they have started implementing the applications which is relevant to the engineering based, especially civil engineering, architecture, and the school of design oriented. They are creating application for the students. They understand the concept and construction of the theory part into the practical session. They clearly what are the ideas they are having, they are using this application, they are learning. So many of the few studies are concentrating now, they are creating application which is relevant to these other field, other sectors also. is a methodology which I followed here. Like, no, there's a number of publications started with digital from 2012 to 19. It's online, it's all digital database, digital library. I search it in like no science journals, Aspiring, Springer, and then as well as no IEEE paper, Google Scholars. So it's based on availability on the digital database. I gone through the research papers, and then I use the terminology like augmented reality in education, phone augmented reality in Indian educations. I referred all these journals and the research paper. I made this paper based on all these research papers. Here I just mentioned the only few studies and findings. Most of the studies, like this states that it's a potential in education just being to be explored, as well as it provides a guidance and prepare for the direct for surgical, especially like medical fields. It's helpful for the students. And then AR is very useful, powerful teaching tool. It provides the additional intrinsic benefits such as increasing students' involvement and interactive and fun learning also. So while like previous sessions and all, while playing the games itself, they can understanding the concept, they're learning. So it is in the way of fun method also the students, they are learning the concept in education. So here result and discussions is like separated in two ways. The impact or use of smartphone augmented reality in educations. The studies is found that the report explore the use of virtual augmented reality as instructional resource. In few publications, they have been checked its virtual reality smartphone use improve the students' engagement, student participation in learning, students' involvement in learning, and student awareness of the subject matter and students' learning outcomes also is highly highly significant when they are doing the study. Then next, the findings of the research which is related to the mobile augmented reality. It's a response of teaching resource from journals in the field. It observes that it's exciting and enjoyable and may contribute to the new learning experience and the positive response from the user. Although the conclusions of this research paper, like this journal studies, although the augmented reality technology is not a reason, it is only being to be explored the potential in education. Unlike computers, the AR interface is more connected to the physical and virtual worlds. The concentration represents the interface may be the varies the transmission of real and virtual worlds. In addition to the part, it requires it's the name of mobile augmented reality framework. The smartphone devices that now it is really it's compactable. It's combined with the AR itself. Now all the whatever the smartphones we are getting, so the technologies provides a learning environment. It's connected to a traditional curriculum so that students can study outside the hours of classrooms and the academic boundaries. So conclusions of this paper as a powerful learning tool that help the students to gain the knowledge, to content and maintain that knowledge through the interactions with the smartphone. But educators will collaborate with the field experts to investigate how best to be incorporate the best characters in the school settings. Many of the students, especially like only the limited schools, they started implementing this AR technology, like others. Like the other universities and colleges, they start to implement these. It may be sometimes they feel like it's costly because of the individual schools, they do not have the appropriate budget. They have to rely on the subsidies being placed in place. So they have to the increase in reality in education sector. It is a tool which may offers many possibilities, but still I feel that it is a long way to go in the future growth. But maybe after this COVID-19, we all are aware about these digital technology. Maybe there is a lot of chance all the schools, the universities, the colleges, they will adapt this educational AR technology as well as they will implement in the colleges and schools. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think you deserve a breathe.
Sir?
I think you deserve a long breathe.
Exactly.
Okay.
But anyway, ma'am, thank you so much for, by the way, sticking to the time limit. So that's as a conference chair, we really do appreciate that. But as Dr. Shriram mentioned, you could have, had some breath in the middle. Anyway,
yes, I thought I had to finish up during that period. Even the connectivity of internet also, I just little worried about it.
Agreed.
The other side of virtual conferences, I believe. So Dr. Shriram, sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah. That's a very nicely curated content. So I'm very happy that people started working on this area. So first point. Second point, what do you think you studied about or you could get about the negative side of AR VR? I'm more interested in finding solutions for the negativity that the AR and VR brings. Could you get any papers or any analysis which is done on that sector?
So no, majority of the papers, no, they concentrated only, they're trying to project the AR in the positive aspects only. I couldn't find it, the AR, it's projecting in the negative way, negative aspects. They're like, no, all the, they are suggesting that they can explain the way how they build the technology. Many papers, how they build the technology, what are the softwares they use, how they are implementing the same way. So I couldn't find like papers they are showcasing in the negative manner in the technology.
It is not negative manner projection. It is when you build a product, you can always say that these are all the greatest of features, but you can say that this is the point for improvement. Future prospects, there the negativity should be definitely highlighted, I believe. And what is your opinion? Do you have any negativity identified?
Like no, after I gone through all this research paper, all it's completely they're concentrating on medical science, human anatomy. All it is not like as like previous discussions happened. It's like linguistics, geography. It's like not in other subjects they are not concentrating. Only they are concentrating on. Better they will concentrate on like maths, physics, chemistry, and all. It's really helpful for the students to understand, especially physics oriented science experiments and all. If they implemented this kind of like no, yeah, then it will be really great, helpful for the students to understand it better concept. It will helpful for how you said, no, it's a future doctor. There may be a future scientist also if they started implementing this augmented reality. I especially like concern about field like no, it is there, it's lagging in the research studies.
I appreciate the way you speak. I really appreciate it. It's really spontaneous. Right. Great. All the best, and do work on the negative side of it also. Address it,
Sure,
because
sure.
when I say this specifically and continuously, you should understand the point that getting a paper published is very important for the research as well as for the university. And when you publish a paper with just highlighting what you built, you may not get a real good review. But when you say that this is the negative point I addressed, the reviewers would really be happy about it, because we really lack a lot of papers on addressing what we can improve in AR VR. There is no paper, in fact, as you said. So we need to work on that. And if you could do that, you are the first to do it. Be the first.
Sure, sir. Sure. Definitely. I noted it. Definitely I will do it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Was exactly pointed out by Sriram said. This conference believe in discussing more than drilling the people with questions. So as Dr. Sriram mentioned, ma'am, even I was actually working on almost the same field, but it's come from education side more than AR and VR. I'm actually leaned over education side. What he is trying to say is see a need, fill a need. We normally say. So the thing is, there is so much of gaps that can be filled now. And besides, I'm going to say this very quickly. Whenever you say, hey, new technology, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But there is one senior professor where I studied before. Even now he used to say, you can't replace a teacher. That's what he says. Okay.
You can just supplement.
He says all the time, you cannot just replace the teacher, Suren.
Being a teacher, we should not say that also.
No, we are not even replacing.
Yes, sir, we agree on it, sir. Yeah. Always the students, they can learn technology, but while they are interacting with the students, they feel the experience. Only they gain knowledge in online, all AR, VR, but they through faculty only, teacher only, they learn the experience. They can't replace the teacher.
So when Dr. Sriram mentioned find a negative side, what we actually mean is try to find a way that we can improve the experiment.
Correct.
Yes, sir, sure, sir.
So that's how it is. And Surendheran sir, is there any observation?
It was a very detailed, informative presentation, ma'am. Congrats, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
As sir mentioned, the future scope, the challenges are very important in the researches. When you want to overcome the challenges, that will become a very big success. All the best to you for your future research projects, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the next participant would be Dr. Prabhakar Rao. We have talked to each other, so I think he have very good connection at the moment. So I'm just making you a co-host, sir. So, sir, the floor is yours. You can please start your presentation.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving the opportunity once again. My title of the project is topic is Group Where Virtual Reality for Agriculture Education and Farming Collaboration. So it's very important to the generation. So that's why I chosen this topic. Of course, many ready-made applications or apps are not available. But out of curiosity, I started one. So in a particular area, there is an introduction problem statement what is groupware, what is why it is connected to this, why the virtual reality will be useful. Next, agriculture field, why we have to choose and what is the connection in between these two things. And one more new component, haptic device. So conclusion references, these are the things I want to discuss. Now coming to this problem definition. So just beautiful presentation with respect to the small Surya holders, a gated community. Enter different use of this presentation. This is what the problem definition. In agriculture education or in farming education, there are quite challenges. Nowadays, every student means you know that all the students want to become either engineer or doctor. When they're all doctor to MBBS. In areas, they will go to AGBSc, agriculture BSc. It is after MBBS, in the next seats will go to veterinary, dental, then automatically AGBSc. Now AGBSc also they will have some sort of training for same kind of field. They can become agriculture officers at a mandal level or a district level. So like that. Similarly, if you connect it to the any panchayat or mandal structure, a district structure, so in future you need to depend on these people only. So if you want to go for a survey, then it needs to be connected with a survey. Particularly in our areas and all, the surveyor job they will give earlier polytechnic persons or they will give to civil engineering students. The civil engineers and all, you see the engineering student, the mentality, they are very much addicted towards mobile usage and all. But as and when they want to work with the field, they may not have the complete experience. See, as a student, what you are gaining, the experience is totally different. To work as a software engineer, not for money, different reasons. So like that, when students are working on this, the faculty also having that kind of experience, and they do not have the real and but exactly the things that are happening in the lab. So we can give a complete feel on virtual reality. With respect to virtual reality, we can give the solutions for the nature in terms of agriculture. So because without agriculture, the life is critical for us in future. So that is that I want to focus more on this particular area. That is why I focused on. So there are components we are talking. The first one, what is the need of agriculture?
Sir, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, sir. I think we still couldn't hear your voice properly. There is a lot of interruption. Sir, I'll give you one suggestion.
Now, sir. Sir.
Sir, it's better than it's actually dropping again. Because you are spending your effort, and if you can't hear you, then that would be a waste of time for you and for us. So what I would suggest is, could you please run through your slides? The session chair can able to read, and the participants can able to read. And once we finish, then we will actually come up with the questions. Would you please agree to that? Would that be okay?
Yes, sir. No issue, sir.
Okay. Because your bandwidth will improve, sir. You can switch off your voice.
Yeah.
Okay. When we say next, go to the next slide, sir. Thank you.
I think I need to use augmented reality to read it.
It's about the present literature, sir. The
I understand, sir. Just for
sorry.
Can you scroll further? Next slide.
Prabhakar also, you can go for the next slide.
This is about importance, sir. Yeah. Collaboration communication.
Next
slide you can make about the need of haptic devices, sir.
Haptic, yeah.
Touch these things. Yeah. These things. So that's how similarly, if one the features, agriculture products, agriculture training. This is what of
So we lost him.
Yes. That's okay. That's a great idea. I mean, he is trying to bring augmented reality and virtual reality to agriculture. And the way we wanted to see that in agriculture is pretty nice. So I think because of his connectivity issue, he is not able to complete it fully, but he deserves full credit to probably think in that aspect of bringing agriculture with AR and VR. That's a good thing. Maybe we can go to the next one, Surendran.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhakar sir, please, I will make sure to
Yes,
share
sir.
the presentation, sir, with
Share
the
that
chair
presentation.
and the other
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. You can stop sharing your screen, please, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so by this time, I'm going to invite our last session for this paper, Professor Raja M. from V8 University Department of Multimedia. Okay, so, all right. Okay, I think Raja sir, you can able to jump in now. Okay, there we go.
Oh, nice.
Yes, Suren, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. A special good afternoon to Sriram sir for accepting our invitation and being part of this conference. I'm here to present my paper titled Preparing for VR-Enabled E-Learning During COVID-19 Pandemic, a reboot of virtual reality in education. I would say that virtual reality hasn't grown that much when compared to other countries, and this pandemic situation has enabled us to rethink about VR and AR. In this particular paper, I'm going to talk about VR, and the reason for starting this, I'll show you why I got into this study. Before that, a small gist of what I'm going to talk about. So there are many equipments and gadgets available related to VR. Though this started half a century ago, the terminology when Sensorama was introduced in 1960s, this term didn't get so much popular because of lack of technology to support. But today we have technology in hand. We can do pretty much more than what we have been doing in the past, and that is the reason why I think it's the right time to use these technologies to get maximum utilization of the technology. So the goal of the study is to see what kind of benefits that VR offers if we integrate VR into e-learning, and to propose a methodology to integrate VR into the e-learning architecture. So this data was obtained from the UNESCO website, very neatly done by them. You can choose a particular date and check the affected learners all over the globe and affected countries. Any date that you choose, till today, you can get the numbers. So starting from 16 to 2020 and ending 16/6/2020 is data that I have populated. You can see here the number is too huge, 10 billion and 91 million and odd, which is 62.3% of the total enrolled learners from about 123 countries. If you look at the map of the global school closure data, so if you take 16 to 2020, for example, we had only one country which was highlighted. Obviously, we all know the country, it's China, but now China is open. All the schools are open as of now, but almost all the other countries are affected. You can see, except Australia and here, all the other countries are almost locally locked down, or the countrywide lockdown is followed. So there arises the need for the e-learning systems, and we are in a very big challenge to replicate the classroom experiences to the learners. This is the traditional architecture of e-learning system, where we have a client and we have internet with which we can interact with the students all over the globe or wherever they are. And we should have a proper e-learning platform for this, and also a database layer This is the generic architecture. So for this review, I've chosen about 31 studies which are very relevant for my topic, and specific methods of integrating VR into e-learning were not available in any of these studies. So I thought I would just dig deeper and then find out a way to integrate VR into e-learning. So 23 out of 31 studies were funded, to my surprise, and all these studies were from abroad, not in India. So it clearly shows that a big support for funding is required. As Sriram sir mentioned, it requires at least minimum of 10 lakhs for a startup company. So imagine you creating content for VR and AR, definitely funding is required. And out of all these studies, 19 studies, they had the tailor-made content, which shows that you should be technically strong or you should have a good team to develop the content. And 28 out of 31 papers showed that everybody was trained, which means the teachers has to be trained. So what I thought is, after the analysis, I thought of integrating VR, and I looked at the aspects that are really required to integrate this VR into e-learning architecture. Number one is technological readiness. So this can be assessed using TAM, a technological assessment model. So acceptance model. So with the TAM, what we can do is we can check the readiness of the teachers, how much they are ready, because it's a big burden for the teachers, even in saying how and what are the tools available, because it's a big burden in addition to the load that they have. So how much they are ready for this, that has to be assessed. Content readiness. How much content is available? Do we have Adobe content here, and do we have the content at an ease? Is it easy to use? We cannot, if the content is very simple, like what we saw in the demos, just with the gesture control, if I can do something, it's ease of use for me, like what I do in the daily life. And how to start with the content. If we start with a minimal content, that's enough. Yeah, at the beginning, we don't have to dream of something big. And institutional initiative is one of the biggest challenges, which has to be integrated into the e-learning system when we go for VR, because funding is required, training programs has to be conducted, and mainly this VR and AR should be integrated into the instruction. That is more important, because people don't take it as part of their teaching learning methodology, because they think it's not at all part of our curriculum, or it's not part of the instruction. And parental support is one of the biggest things. See, now e-learning is happening everywhere. If my kid is going to hold a box for some time, am I ready to allow him or her? We should not, parents as such, think that VR is only a game. And most of the parents are concerned about health issues. What will happen, nausea, sicknesses, there are several other issues which come up when you prolong the usage of VR. And socializing concerns. What if your kid gets detached from you all the time looking at the VR? So when we integrate all these, as an element in the client layer of the architecture of e-learning, we can easily mix the VR into e-learning architecture. And how do we integrate it? Okay, especially we can integrate it in two ways. One, we can go as a flipped classroom methodology, or we can go as a regular e-learning methodology, or sometimes it can be in a blended mode. Flipped classroom methodology, it eradicates connectivity issues. We just now had a connectivity issue while the presenter was struggling to present. So this can be eradicated. You can give the content well before your classes. The kids can go through your content whenever they have good connection at home, and then they can come prepared for the classes. And it gives enough room for different learning abilities. Some students cannot catch up with the speed that you're going. Some students may be slow in learning. Some may be very fast. So you give enough room when you go for the flipped classroom methodology, and it saves a lot of time during the session. Instead of you teaching on the spot, you will be a facilitator where you are going to ask the questions from the students and clear their doubts when they already have gone through some of the basic concepts using VR. And if you are going for a regular e-learning method, it demands good connectivity for all the participants. And you also have to think about social VR. It's not just I have my own head-mounted display and I look at something and the other person looks at something and the teacher looks at something. It should be a social VR. And there comes the question mark of how to go for a social VR, which is again, costing a lot. And if we can overcome this, it can be very highly productive. And the blend of flipped classroom and regular e-learning method, you have a pretty much option to switch between flipped classroom or the regular classroom, and you have the chances of grouping the learners based on their needs. So you can group the students like, slow learners, fast learners, you can mix match them, and then you can have a blended method. So this is the proposed methodological framework for implementing VR in e-learning. So in the client area, we are proposing that these elements should be taken care, where the instructor and the learners will have to, look into these points. And this is the part where the integration happens with the flipped classroom and the regular e-learning and the blended methods. We all know there are plenty of benefits of integrating VR. When we integrate it like this, obviously we are going to create interest among the students, and it is going to give some kind of curiosity among the students to every day think of what they are going to see something new in the next class, and it increases students' engagement, and it also is going to eliminate language barriers, because you are not going to create your content. You can take a Russian language content which shows the anatomy of the body and just give it to the student. No need of audio there. They can just go through and see whatever is there, and you can talk about it later on. And promotes experiential learning. Of course, instead of reading through books, it gives you an experience of really going through something, and it facilitates safer experiments where labs like chemistry labs or mechanical labs where some damages can be caused. VR facilitates safer experiments, and it eliminates distractions, especially while talking. If somebody is crossing me, while attending the online classes, or if I'm getting any distractions from my mobile or from television or from my relatives, it eliminates distractions. And researchers have proved that it helps in better retention rates, and the immersion is cost because of the multisensory experience. That is one great thing when compared to that of the traditional methods. And a lot of field trips can also be shown at this pandemic time, where we cannot go out. Students can be taken to field trips, and they can, enjoy seeing the places instead of sitting inside the home and becoming claustrophobic. This will help a lot, and it's inexpensive these days. Gone are the days where we were talking that VR and AR technologies were very expensive, but now it has become so cheaper, where we have cheaper solutions for this with mobile-enabled devices, VR devices. There are also possible challenges in integrating this VR in e-learning. Number one, we are not prepared for the change at all. VR is not part of the instruction. We think that is the reason why we are not prepared. We never expected such a situation to happen, and a possible solution for this could be VR. Institutions can insist on integrating VR into teaching and learning process and make the teachers and the learners get prepared. And one more challenge here is to train the teachers personally, because remotely we have to train them remotely. And possible solution for this could be conducting mock sessions by the professionals, where the professionals can be showing them on how to take a class with the help of VR and AR. And the other challenge is not everybody will have a VR headset at home, so instantly you cannot start delivering VR content. So there can be possibilities of overcoming this problem by going into the content where head-mounted display is not required at the moment. Say I can show a YouTube 360 video where a student can experience virtual reality, okay, to some extent, until he or she gets a head-mounted display. I can show some content which is mobile enabled, which is just which can just be seen with the laptop or the computers, and deciding on the content, whether to go for a free content or subscription or to purchase something or to ask a developer to develop by paying something. Initially, to start with, it is advised to make use of the existing content until we get familiarized with the structure of this e-learning integration with VR and AR. And parental support is very, very essential, because to get rid of that perception of gaming and perception of a wrong perception about VR and AR should be eliminated by educating the parents first. And funding, definitely we have to seek funding from our institute, or as Sriram sir was mentioning, there are so many organizations who are ready to fund, so we can also seek for external funding. So in this study concludes that VR can be integrated with e-learning for better results, and if the stakeholders like teachers, parents, and the institution, they join hands, the proposed methodology will yield good results during this pandemic. And one of the biggest misconception about AR and VR is the need for expensive headsets and visual aids. We always think we need a treadmill to walk and visualize. Yes, of course, it increases immersion, but for now, during this pandemic, integrating VR and AR through this remote learning, we don't require such expensive equipment. All that we need is a piece of box, which I bought it for $175. That's more than enough. So VR education is essential to spread awareness on the disadvantages and limitations of VR. There are limitations and advantages and limitations in every technology. If we understand the limitations, it will be easy to overcome. So that's it from my side, sir. These are the references. Thank you.
Over to Sriram sir for questions.
That's a very nice detailed coverage. In fact, it started from the scratch on e-learning, and it went to the end of it almost in all aspects. As Mr. Raja right away said that we don't require a very expensive headsets or very expensive infrastructure to set up e-learning stuff. At least we can go with 300 rupees, 150 rupees, or multiple variations are there in the Google Cardboard box, and we can survive with that. One aspect of the point to improve that I would like to suggest is it brings headache to people. I have read a lot of documents which says that children get headache and their eye power vision goes high and low, fluctuating, which is a major concern when it comes to AR VR. So I think that's the only thing that we got to be careful about. We need to give an alert when it comes to e-learning, says that you watch for 20 minutes, stay away for 10 minutes, go see greeneries. I mean, seeing the trees and leaves gets your eyes cool down a little bit. I have studied. So we need to include those kind of contents into this to make this really effective. But otherwise, this is a very nice observation, very nice read-through, in fact, that I had when I went through your PPT. Good work. I have no questions. This is just appreciation to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's really cool presentation. Raja said that was a considerable amount of effort has been gone into there to do the reviews, and we do really appreciate the efforts. Thanks for your presentation. And Saran sir, do you have any comments on that?
No, sir. It was a great presentation. Thank you, Raja.
Okay, and Hamita Sheikh was talking to me whether, do you have any questions? Because you are requesting permission for asking any questions. So if there is any questions, quickly post it there, because, okay, very nice presentation, sir. Okay, I believe, okay, there is no questions for you, Raja sir. Thanks very much. And yeah, so now we are actually arriving at the end of this session. I know, we are nearly 6 minutes more than our schedule. Okay, I'm going to quickly search for, oh yeah, here we are. Dr. Saleem sir, would you like to say a few words to our keynote speaker?
Hello, everyone. Dr. Sriram, it was a wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
It was very informative and inspiring. I'm sure after your talk, many of us, many of our students especially, and I would have been inspired and to take up projects and develop products in this domain. And it was very nice of you to be here as one of our keynote speakers. And I'm sure all of us benefited immensely. Thank you. And presentations by all other presenters were very good, very informative, and we had a good session. Thanks to all of you. Yes, over to you, sir.
Surendher, you are on mute. Surendher, you are muted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's not able to hear.
No,
So,
I can. I just transferred my rights to others, so I was stuck in the middle. Okay. All right. Again, thank you so much, Dean sir, for those kind words. And I'm going to quickly invite Anurag sir to close the session and say thanks to our Dr. Sriram for his presence here. Over to you, Anurag.
Sriram sir, thank you very much for this wonderful session. And we sincerely express our gratitude for accepting our invitation. And it was a very energetic and inspirational session for us, and really informative also. And we hope that we can impart the knowledge that you have given us. And stay safe, sir. That is one thing that we should all wish for each other.
Right.
So we will break now for lunch, I guess, Suren sir. And
of course,
we will join at 2 o'clock.
Yes, so open statement. Thank you, Anurag, for the vote of thanks. And Sriram sir, thank you. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Okay,
yeah,
so,
I would like to share
yes.
my feel of attending the keynote speak, which has been given by Dr. Sriram. Sir, it was really wonderful, and it was highly informative, and it was really a motivation session for all of the attendees and participants. I have gone through few comments which was going through the chats. So really everyone enjoyed your session, and we would like to have some kind of collaborative work in near future.
Thank you, Ma. It's my pleasure, and we can always collaborate. The only thing that is getting better is through sharing. We can share whatever we know each other.
Yes, sure.
Right?
Sure,
Thank you
sir.
very much. My pleasure.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, okay, we all come back with this using the same link, which we have shared before. And again, the session continues. The conference